La 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 la. Enzo. La 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 la. Enzo. La 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 la. Enzo. And he comes from Italy. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Another match review. Ladies and gents, as you can tell, I'm ecstatic. I'm hyped. I am happy. Smiling from ear to ear because Chelsea are currently in second place. Liverpool have dropped points. We are 7 points away from first. But hey, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. It's just exciting to see that. Oh shit, maybe, just maybe, we might be closing that gap. But ladies and gents, I'm accompanied by the Bridge Nation as well as Real Chris. I am Marshall DBX, your panel today for the match review for Southampton 1, Chelsea 5. Beautiful things to see. Before we go ahead and start this review, plenty to talk about, plenty of things to actually be a little frustrated about as well. I think today is a great day to smash that like if you haven't done so already, ladies and gents. Subscribe to the channel if you want more of this good feeling that you feel watching Chelsea right now. And also be sure to check out the memberships if you already are a member of the channel or a subscriber of the channel. We have 4 different tiers starting at 99p. Also, leave a comment, description, all that fun stuff. Ahmed's channel's down there, RSM, everyone else that you see on here that you know and love and you like to see the personalities. Support their content as well in the description below. Ladies and gents, let's go ahead and get on with this because we have to talk about the quick summary of the match. Let's talk about today's goal scorers, all right? We started off with a slightly rotated side. We saw 4 of our A-team players, including Cole Palmer, Enzo, Caicedo, and Cucurella start. Everyone else was pretty much rotated in or are on and off starters as well. So pretty much an expected lineup of some people rotated in. And we start off the game with Axel, as Ahmed likes to say, I'll give credit where credit is due. The brick Disasi. Listen, people wanted to disrespect my man Disasi, who actually had a decent game playing in his position. Who would have known? So he plays in his position, gets a goal today. He might actually be our best goal scoring center back since Thiago Silva's left. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now that I think about it, he scores a decent amount of goals for a center back.
In air, he's our best in air, probably.
I think he's the only one who consistently gets to the ball.
Yeah, now that I think about it.
100%.
Hey, that is something that, look, if he steps up his performances, we need heading ability at set pieces. So, hey, good for Axel Disasi. He gets on the scoreboard, starts the game off, 1-0 Chelsea. And unfortunately, it wouldn't be a Chelsea game without some drama. And we concede a very silly goal from Enzo. Error on 2 ends of the pitch at the very end where he slips up, where we had a few players slip up because of the rain. But Enzo slips, gets back in defense, get nutmegged again, and then it's a cross. Tosin also not really paying attention to his player, lets him get in a position to score, and he does score. So Aribo scores. It's a 1-1 game. We're a little annoyed, but it wasn't before much longer where we saw Christopher Nkunku, who got a start in the striking position today. He go ahead and gets us ahead in the scoreboard with a lovely press from Nani Madueke, who we will discuss today. Nani Madueke dispossesses the defender for Southampton. Nkunku is clear. The goalkeeper was already out of his goal line. It was an easy goal for Nkunku to score, and he scores it. So we're ahead 2-1. Then Nani Madueke later in the half. Again, a dominant first half from Chelsea and a very dominant second half as well, but we'll get to that. A dominant first half of Chelsea sees Nani Madueke also score. The typical Nani goal, goes far post, slots it right in, well placed, hits the bar but goes in. Magnificent goal from him. Good performance from him as well. We then go on to the second half. We bring out the same lineup. We keep dominating. Actually, I forgot to mention that after Nani Madueke's goal, we saw Hey, listen, man. I wish I can play the clip. I wish I can have the image, but the injustice that keeps happening to the man, the Garnier Fructis model, bro. People are just jealous about the hair.
What? Disrespectful.
Cucurella gets pulled down, hair pulled. It's seen as violent conduct. It goes through VAR, and Stevens gets sent off for Southampton. They go down to 10 men. Rightfully so, to be honest. You can't be doing that kind of stuff in the game. It's dark arts, but hey, listen, bro. Dark arts you could get away with when you had no cameras. Foolish of the Southampton player to do that, think he could get away with it. Gets sent off immediately for violent conduct. We go into the second half. Southampton are 10 men down. And then, as a result, listen, dominant performance from Chelsea. It continues on in the 76th minute. I think it was Nkunku that gets a ball from Enzo Fernandez. And I don't know if he touches it or if it's the defender that makes it roll towards the goal. A little shameless. I think it would have been an Nkunku goal if you let it roll, but Cole Palmer's there to put it away, make sure it's a goal. At the end of the day, who cares? We need to make sure we get our goals because this league right now is being decided by goal difference. That's how the tiny margins are. The reaction, they were laughing with each other. I think they both knew, but yeah. Cole Palmer gets his goal. He puts it away. Another one added to his tally. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Jadon Sancho that comes on as a substitute. He has a brilliant performance on the pitch, a brilliant cameo, and he gets his first goal for Chelsea Football Club as well. A brilliant, brilliant performance from Chelsea. I am over the moon. I am ecstatic. Liverpool drop points. We will see what happens further on into the season. We have a whole month of December that we have to go through fixtures, but Chelsea are looking good. They're looking convincing. And RSM, tell me your thoughts on today's game. Wow.
I think today's game is perfectly summarized by what we've been building since the preseason began, and there is no bigger sign of this than what you heard from the away fans at the end of the game.
Yep.
Chanting Maresca's name, saying, this is the Chelsea are back. This is the Chelsea that we've been missing. Like, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. This is the 2 years of absolute suffering and in the mud that we've been in, rebuilding this team with young players, finally getting in a manager that's able to teach them a structure. And you can see, bro, there is belief going through this team. They're not only, we're not only battering down teams, they're enjoying it. They enjoy the style of play. They enjoy the way that the manager is playing. And it's amazing to see. Like, the players we're happy as fans, but we see the players on the pitch, bro, they're enjoying themselves. This was a hoop sesh, even before the red card, which obviously conditioned the game to something a bit different, but they were already enjoying themselves. Even before the goal, even before the red card, I think we already had like 5 big chances, and we missed, I think, 3 of them. So we could have already been way up. And this game is amazing. I have no comments on anybody. I don't have any comments on the lineup. I'm more than happy that we didn't rotate as heavily as we did against Newcastle. So I have no comments there. No comments from Maresca. No comments on the stuff. Everything was just amazing. 10 out of 10. It was just one of those days where you just enjoy the football. You just enjoy what's in front of you. You kick back. You relax. You enjoy, and that's it. Like, I had an amazing time. However, I will be pushing back against the absolute glazing we are about to hear from this brother to your right. I'll let you know right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I can only
a certain
imagine.
winger got some GNA to him. And listen, you don't have the clip. But listen, bro, he plays it on his stream. And he doing something without a license. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. The glazing is crazy. We're about to hear. So I'm telling everybody to prepare themselves. Listen, if you're under the age of 18, you may need to, avert your eyes for what Ahmed's about to do to Nani right now. Anyways, that's it. I'm gonna end it there.
Crazy.
I mean, before you do that, Ahmed, because I know you're gonna try to hold court, but we're gonna have to bring the jury into this one. Chris, your thoughts on the game today? Don't go too crazy because we are gonna talk about each individual player, obviously.
Okay, no, I thought we looked a bit shaky at first, obviously. I thought it was a little bit concerning, obviously. We did obviously score first, Disasi. Disasi scored a great header, obviously.
Man.
Yeah, it's great to see
Shout
one.
out, Bram.
Yeah, it's great to see Chelsea score from a corner header. Great cross by Enzo. Great finish, obviously, by Disasi as well.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, we'll talk. Yeah, go.
Yeah,
Go.
Then we did concede straight after. Basically, I'm pretty sure, as I remember. It did look bad defensively. I thought Enzo actually tried blocking the cross, but it unluckily went between his legs. What was it? It was between his legs, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Tolson was ball watching, I felt. Gusto was nowhere. But then we scored pretty much like another 5 minutes later. So I thought, yeah, okay, we got 2-1. And yeah, then we set sailing after 3-1, and the red card came in. And by the way, that Cucurella one, by the way. Finally, someone's been caught, because I'm pretty sure it's Romero who yanked Cucurella's hair like down, and they did nothing. So it was about time.
Disrespectful.
That's what happens when you have bad B hair.
You know,
What? Disrespectful.
I was so annoyed when that got in Tottenham game, that goal was like given
Best to
away.
say, bro, you know what's crazy though? Like in the Tottenham game, bro, it was literally a fistful of hair and he shoved it.
Yeah,
Like,
he yanked
this
it,
game, bro, this game he just like
Did
got
little-
a couple strands
yeah,
and just
little-
kind of like
He did one of these.
he kind of went like this, and then it's Tottenham, bro. He literally got him by the back of his skull and just went like this and nothing. It was so.
Bro, no, I'm not gonna lie. Like, not to go too much of the tangent, but the foul
Tottenham one,
itself, when you're watching the game, the foul itself was funny because he pulls the hair down like this, and he looks at him like, and you don't see Cucurella anywhere. He's just like, what's happening? Why we pause the game? No, it was a funny foul.
Listen, and I saw the replay. Yeah, after they got the red card. We was just in second gear. We weren't really that fast. We was just taking it slow, taking it easy. What I kind of like, because we don't need to really go too heavy against a 10-man 3-1 down Southampton. But then second half, I thought. By the way, first off, Felix, he was great. Second half, he dropped off completely. For me. Cole Palmer did get a goal. He did rob Nkunku, but you know what? Cole Palmer's my captain on fantasy, so I'll take it. But yeah, I thought we had a good game. I kind of expected we'd win today, and it's great to see we can have a heavy rotation and win like today we did anyway. And another good thing as well, what we wouldn't do last season, we capitalized on Liverpool or any team ahead of us.
Bro, that's insane. Hold on. Let me.
It could have been 12-1 today, but
FPL managers needed me. This is true though. Sorry, Christopher Nkunku.
He's taking the piss, bro. I love Cole Palmer, dog. I'm telling you, this brother's changed my life, bro.
Oh my days! What a fucking piece of shit, bro.
Look at the picture. This is the first picture, bro.
No, and Nkunku's laughing though. He knows.
Yeah,
he
it's
knows.
I know,
He's
I
taking
know.
it like a good sport, which is good.
Bro, it's so funny, bro. It's so funny.
But the one thing I do like, we
Shout out.
finally capitalized on
Oh, yeah,
a
hold
team
on.
ahead of us, Marshall.
Yeah.
We capitalized on Liverpool today. They dropped points, and we gained points today. So we never really saw that last season. So hopefully we see more of that. There's not many teams ahead of us, just one. So we gotta keep pushing.
All right.
And on that, yeah.
All right. I mean, Ahmed, we know what you want to do, bro. Looking with the side eye over there, bro.
Obviously, man, I think today was like a really good game in general. I thought we did start off, I'll be honest, a bit poorly. I felt like they really were like giving us the really pressing us well. They're trying to really hit us and everything like that. And obviously we were able to get the first goal. Who actually escapes me right now. No, it doesn't escape me. Let's talk about my guy here, firstly.
Talk about non-Zeno and a Banzino, man.
No, and one person I really want to speak about right now is my good friend Axel the Brick Disasi. I've always said that for me personally, my hero Axel, and one thing I always say is that I feel like for me personally, we do underestimate him quite a bit. I know obviously against Conference League, yes, he's not been great, but I always say that I feel like it's very hard for some of our players, right? Yeah, to actually, take the league, take that Conference League seriously. And that's one thing I've always said, right? I think they find it really hard here to just take that Conference League seriously for quite a few of them. And I think Disasi is one of them. And I think for me today, he had a really solid performance. And you know what I said before, that even we had the corner, I said Axel's going to score that corner because, he's dominant. He dominates that. You know what I mean? That's my guy, Axel, the British.
I mean,
there's literally no denying that. And like when
to enforce your point, just want to show this. He did dominate the air today. Axel Disasi registered more the successful defensive aerial duel battles, 3 out of 3, and attacking aerial duel battles than any other player between Southampton and Chelsea. Absolute dominant air. Go ahead, Ahmed. Continue.
Obviously, they didn't equalize. I thought it was a little bit of two things. I think Gusto, obviously, he did initially let him go past him, Archer. But then he did a great recovery run. And then obviously, Enzo was really poor in the way he controlled that ball and then put it out. And then obviously, that led to the goal. But then listen, the second goal, great work by Madueke, great Arsenal. I think it was a great team press, I would actually argue in general. And the team press really well done that allowed Madueke to steal the ball and pass it to my guy, Christoph Nkunku. At least he got a goal, you know what I mean? And then obviously third goal by Madueke, typical Madueke goal, I would probably say that's the way he usually likes to score. When he gets to the box, shifts it onto his left, bang, goal.
Yeah, that's like a signature Madueke goal. Yep.
Exactly. And the red obviously took place. And then after that, I feel like, you know, pretty much the vast majority of the second half, we were really just like creating chances, not doing that much in my personal opinion. I don't know about you guys. That's how it generally felt. And listen, obviously, Madueke had a few chances. He could have got a hat trick. Felix had a couple of chances. You know, Palmer. Then obviously we did get that the fourth goal. And Palmer, how greedy! You know what I mean? That guy is too greedy, man. You know what I mean? He's moving greedy. You know what I mean? Tell him to stop being greedy, man. Start passing the flipping ball, man. That's what I'm saying. Because he was having a stinker in that game, bro. Before he got that, before that, I'll be so real. Obviously, number 5, big up to my guy Sancho, Lini. You know what I mean?
Sancho, bro.
You know what I mean? Big up, really good goal from him, by the way. Really good power. And you know, listen, guys, yeah. I just feel like, you know, you look at the last 2 games of Madueke, free GNA, you know what I mean? Undeniable, you know what I mean? Great goal, great assist today. Listen, and you know, it's interesting that the Gaffer's made sure to take him off at the 25th minute.
He's tapping the back, guys. He's tapping the back.
Getting ready for that. Listen, Madueke, man, he gets a lot of hate in this fan base, and it's very uncritical the amount of hate that he gets. And I said before, bro, yeah, listen, give him more game time. Let him improve. Let him develop. And you're going to see the fruits of our labor. You know what I mean? You're going to see, yeah, the hoop sessions that he's given us. You know what I mean? You're going to see real football. You're going to see the Ziggy Zaga. You're going to see the Puchacha. You're going to see the Jago Bonito. You know what I'm saying to you? Listen, believe in us. Believe in us. And we will believe in you. There we go, man. Thank you very much for my saying, Madueke. But listen, all I'm saying, man, Madueke Nation, he's doing that for us. You know what I mean? He's cooking for us. You know what I mean? That's what I have to say, bro.
He acted like this brother going out to work like at a hard day. He's like the kids at home. Like he's doing this for us. He's putting food on the table.
You know what I mean? Playing for the CFC badge. That's my guy, man. That's my guy, day one.
So big up United Spurs. We're gonna be collaborating on the weekend because we, you know, obviously we got Spurs next, and we're gonna have to discuss. But one thing, Jacob, you're talking about Ange's kryptonite is haired manager. Fair enough, but you're not talking about, you know. Hold on, I got you. Hands in his pockets. Fuck you. Let's talk about my manager and his hands in his pockets. My manager right here is the chill guy. They want us to be the title race. They want us to be the savior of the Premier League. But Enzo Maresca is just a chill guy who likes to put his hands in his pockets and play football.
Bro, we're just a chill guy, bro. What title race, bro?
We just like to chill and play football.
Insane.
So I'm just saying.
I just say it's kind of crazy we're talking about butt out of the pockets, because if this was in prison, that would be having a different conversation altogether.
Relax. No, it's fine. We'll add Ange to the Maresca chat.
Just want to let you guys know, man. Just let everyone know about that, please.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. We will be collabing with Spurs on the weekend, except it's going to be on the blue and white OF website, and somebody will be receiving the shots.
I'm just letting you know, man. Listen,
that's what I'm gonna say, bro.
No, people, just listen. That's why I don't talk about pockets. I just talk about pockets, you know. But listen, I'm definitely getting Jacob off my preview too, man. Don't worry, man. I'm gonna cook Jacob for fun. That's what I'm doing.
For fun.
Okay. Prime, I don't know what to expect, whether you're going to be shameless or you're going to bring rationale
Prime cook,
back to
Prime
the
cook.
stream, but go ahead, man. Do your thing.
I'll be
Cook.
honest, man. No one wants Prime here, man. Prime, just leave, bro. Respect. Prime.
Listen, all Chelsea fans can lather in this celebration today.
What do you
Also,
mean by leather? What do you mean by leather?
I don't know. Let Prime cook.
Why do I don't want Prime to cook though? Like, what is he gonna cook?
Let
Bro,
Prime.
Sam. Oh, yeah. Wait.
Let him cook. Let him. But go ahead,
Wait,
Prime.
whoa! That was crazy. What do you mean by that, big man?
Well, maybe pick up your head, bro. Maybe we'll be
Let him cook, bro. Just gotta let him
You're
cook. You already
reasonable.
know it, bro.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if Prime can hear us or if he's even there.
Prime's in the shadow realm, bro.
Yeah, Prime's
Prime's
lost
still
in the
I can hear you.
sauce.
I'm here. I'm just.
Yeah, we've been trying to talk to you for the last 20 minutes, bro.
But no, you haven't been. You only answered me. You only talked to me the last 30 seconds, and you and Ahmed have been going back and forth. But anyways,
Oh, crap, man. Go ahead. Cook.
Cook.
bro, this was supposed to be an actual demolition, man. I'm actually disappointed. Conceding against one of the worst teams I've ever seen in this Prem, it's awful. The fact that we couldn't put more than 5 past them is awful. Rectify that against Spurs. I want a body against Spurs now. Okay, I want blood. I want tears. Maybe a Spurs fan takes their life. Who knows? I want a funeral on Sunday.
Video
The
game.
Lord's
Whoa,
Day.
whoa, 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 whoa,
In a video
whoa,
game.
That's a hilarious
whoa,
thing
In a
whoa,
video game.
whoa.
Listen.
What?
In a video game.
Oh, you know,
Insane.
I'm talking about alleged. I'm talking about hypothetically.
Yeah.
God rose
Alleged.
on the 3rd day on Sunday. Hey, Ange, you better make sure you win tomorrow, mate. Because if you're gonna get
Man said me.
Big flange,
no,
bro.
what, no, what, Ange, we're actually gonna do you a favor, by the way, because you're too good for Spurs. So us sacking you is a good thing. By the
We're
way,
gonna free you. Free
we,
my
just
boy,
like
free
we
my boy.
freed Leicester from that terrorist in Cooper, we're gonna free you from Spurs. You don't deserve Spurs. You're better, just like Jose's better than Spurs. Just
We
like
gonna have this brother looking like this.
Jose's better than Spurs. You don't
This
deserve.
brother gonna
Spurs.
be hitting this, bro. Hands on your knees, hands on your knees. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be like
Hey.
a bad beat. Hands on his
And-
knees on the weekend. That's what I'm saying.
When you get sacked, you can go to one of the clubs in London, get a bad B, a twerk on you or whatever, and then go take the West Ham job because that you deserve that. That West Ham have a brilliant squad. Go work with them. Go win it. But Spurs, Jose couldn't do it. He got sacked 6 days before a final. If Jose can't win anything, you don't have a chance. So just play that high line with what's his name, Dragusin and Ben Davis. 6-0 Chelsea. We won't do too bad, just 6. That's all.
Yeah.
Jackson hat-trick, you know. He'll do the Michael Jackson thing. That's it. We won't make it too bad. We won't even bring Mudryk on this score. Okay, we won't make it embarrassing. Just 6. 3 by half time, you know, is what it is. But yeah, this is Chelsea. We're just chilling. We're not in a title race. We're not in a top 4 race. We're just in that limbo in between, guys. We're just chilling. We're just taking our time. We rotated. Disasi had a brilliant game, as he should be against Southampton because they're not that good. A relegation side missing their best players. Is what it is. Madueke cooked. Phenomenal. Bro, he should have had like 3-4 assists.
Yeah.
Cooked. Bro, cooked. He actually could have scored another goal another way.
Oh, you this was a buffet, bro.
Oh,
By the goalkeeper, which
There he
was unfortunate. He probably should have got a second goal. But regardless, it was brilliant. Felix cooked as well. Enzo, after the goal conceded, had a good game. Nkunku is still not a striker, but regardless, we still cooked, as we should be doing against a side like this. When Chelsea fans were worried, we should go full strength. We don't need to against a relegation side. If we're really as good as what we've been saying that we are, we should
Thank
be
you,
able to do a
Ladimus.
bit of rotation. We
Thank
should
you,
do a bit of rotation and still beat Southampton by 5 or whatever and then get through. So, here's what it is. Go play Spurs on Sunday. give them that biblical beating they deserve. Free Postecoglou from that curse.
Free
free my man. He doesn't deserve. He didn't commit the crime. He didn't commit it. Okay, free him. Free Postecoglou. Okay, that's all I'll say now. Take it away, bro. Free Postecoglou. Free my manager.
Your manager, free their manager, free the good manager.
Also, let me just say,
your manager's Enzo.
Also, by the way, I just have to say, by the way, I saw a bunch of Spurs fans twerking on the weekend because they had the most goal scores in the Prem. Y'all can hold that. We're now at 31 goals scored.
Yeah, Deji, hold that. Hold that. Best possession base in the league, Deji. Hold that.
Hold that.
Talk to me nicely.
Spurs fans saying that, you know,
I can send you links in the private chat.
They beat managers that don't have hair.
Thank you.
Who are the managers you beat? The two managers you beat that don't have what you beat. You beat City because you always beat City. Conte beat City. Jose beat City. Nuno beat City. So it's not a Postecoglou thing. Everyone beat City.
What?
I might have to be shameless with you guys. I ain't gonna lie.
Go ahead.
No. I want Javon to cook, and then I'm gonna pull up some stats for that.
Yeah. With us, like, I'll be real. I don't even see Spurs scoring. Kulusevski, he's been on great form this season. But if he plays out on the right wing, Cucurella will pocket him.
Well,
if he plays
let's save the Spurs chat for at the end of the stream. Let's talk Southampton. Let's talk about the Cucurella.
I love Maresca, man. Maresca's like a mix of all the great Chelsea managers that I love. I love Maresca. But I've copped long enough. Bro, you're the Madueke guy in that you cook, bro. I've talked enough. I'll stop.
Hey, cook.
What's up, fellas? I'm sorry about that. I'm just putting out my match review. What?
Do your thing, brother.
Yeah, man. I actually just came here to, have a calm discussion. I'm not here to go all wild like the one. No, against the assist, I was more shameless because of the whole thing about it. But he had a really good game today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna overdo it today. He really had a good game today, and all I want to say, I feel vindicated when I said we should have dropped him, because this is what non-complacency breeds. If you guys get what I'm saying, when players actually have to work for their place, what's the one thing we can all agree on today? His decision making was on point. He shot when he should have shot. He passed when he should have passed. His crosses in the box were on point. Multiple times he put a ball at the back post, and I'm like, Felix, why can't you finish?
Yeah, Felix had a bit of a howler.
You could have had a brace.
Yeah. The header alone, like, oh my god. But go ahead, Yaman.
And when we look at the two, everybody agreed Madueke should have easily had about 4 goals. But when you look at the shots, the keeper is kind of blocking them off the line, or the shots on target, but it's too direct. And at that point, you're kind of nitpicking. He's doing what everyone complained about. Yeah. Dribbling on point, crossing on point, washing his man on point. And all I gotta say is, give me 2 more performances like that, then you can come back and start in 11. I know you guys were probably not expecting me to say that, but you have to be at that level and maintain that level and be at that level against better teams before I can trust you to put you to start in 11 again.
It would be pretty hard to do that though, since we have Neto, who's in good form, and Sancho, who's pretty cooking for Chelsea as well. So, I mean, it's good to have all 3 competing with each other, because if any of them do drop performances, and obviously Madueke's playing well, then yeah, drop one of them, because this is what we should keep doing, because none of them are undroppable for sure. So I definitely agree with that.
Exactly.
What I quite like.
And here's another thing too. Even if we go with the same scenario, everyone's on point. You still need that, because let's say you're not getting. Let's say one day Madueke, Neto is not doing it. You can trust Madueke to come in and improve the level of performance.
Yeah.
And those are the simple little intricate decision that a coach has to make in order to get to the next level. When to use your informed player. Like I don't want him to. And like Roy Allen says, when Estelva comes, he's probably going to leave. But I'm talking about the season. You have to provide for us this season. He's probably going to leave, yes, but come on, provide for us this season. And until you do this consistently, people are not going to stop calling you Madueke and whatever. Because I'm being fair here. When every criticism that's about performances, I hear it and it's true. You understand?
Bro,
Yeah, no,
the reason
100%.
why I wanted like Madueke out of the 11 was because the sort of player Madueke is, if he's on like a bit of bad form, he needs, maybe it's like a mental thing, but he needs something to like wake him up again. You remember at the start of the season when there was rumors of him leaving, and then he scored the winner against Servette, hat-trick against Wolves. Before the Bournemouth game, I think, or Forest game, sorry, Maresca called him out that he needs more from Madueke. He scores the equalizer. He needs that little kick up.
Yeah, and
that's what he gave. That's what he gave us last game when he came off the bench. He gave us that today against Spurs. I don't know if he'll start or not, but when he comes on against Spurs, he will give us something. He will get another goal contribution.
Bro, 9 times out of 10, the commentators are, you know, not necessarily calling the right game or saying the right things, but today, unilaterally, no matter what channel you put it on, everyone had high praises for Madueke. The defender tried to show him right, gets by him. You put him out right, he's gonna get by. He's just gonna go around him. You put him on his left foot, he's dangerous there. He crosses back, he's cut back. Bro, this is the first time I've seen Madueke where I can say you cannot critique this performance. The only critique you can have from him is that he didn't put the ball in the net more times.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
if we get this version of Madueke consistently, I'm telling you, we have a player in our hands.
But we only need, that's the thing, like with Madueke, because we have other people in the team who could score. At the end of the day, we really only need him to realistically do like maybe 1 out of every 4 chances, and that'll be a good enough return.
Yeah, and he's a guaranteed starter at that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's good. Like I feel like Madueke, and I agree with what Prime is saying. Like he is a very like momentum based player. And putting him on the bench gives the opportunity to like restart. Because when he hasn't scored in so many games, you can tell he gets into his own head, and that's when he's not as free flowing. He's not as dribbly as he thinks. He's in his head. So putting him on the bench, giving him this game, I hope this is a catalyst for him to build that momentum and be the person that we saw against Wolves, where he's very clinical, where he's dribbling at his man, where he's getting into the right spaces. And like Jamal said, like we know that he can do a job for us. And that's what we need. Like at this point in time, like bro, when you have people like Jackson that's firing, Palmer that's firing, right? You have Neto, you have Sancho. Like we just need Madueke to do a job. That's it. We're not even asking for him to be like this amazing. No, we just need somebody to do a job. And if he's able to, and you know, I hope that this game is able to build up his confidence. Like all right, like all jokes aside, like this was a very very good game from him. And it was good for him to build confidence. I'm glad that Maresca decided to start him today. I'm glad.
Yeah, and last point on Madueke before I want to get the panel's opinion on a bigger perspective. You see, everything that Brody just said, but one key thing is this performance when you can pick up man of the match by halftime. That says to me you're more of a good player than you're a shit player. And this fan base will change if you can do this consistently. And that's my biggest criticism of him.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, right? Like, I forget if it was last stream or 2 streams ago. I remember, and Curry, if you're here in the chat or if you're listening, I request that you come and defend your stance on this.
Wow,
because, listen, I was having a discussion and a debate with him about whether Nani should be sold or not. And I'm sitting here saying, okay, let's not be too harsh, because we have seen with Nani that there is a player there that just lacks consistency. And today we saw a dominant performance where we're actually complaining about the amount of chances he's missed, even though he was very good today. And let's look at some stats. Nani Madueke, obviously, player of the match today. And then we see here, Nani Madueke has registered more goal involvements, 7 in the Premier League, than Jeremy Doku, Kai Havertz, João Pedro, Gabriel Martinelli, and Alejandro Garnacho, and Mohamed Kudus, which, if I remember correctly, was one that the fan base was not very happy we didn't obtain, and who some people to this day are saying, sell Nani Madueke and get me Kudus, because Kudus has a release clause in his contract. But, hey, let's see how this season continues, because right now another stat for well, actually, let me pull this up. Is right now GNA this Premier League season, Nani Madueke has more than Kai Havertz, more than Brennan Johnson, more than Dejan Kulusevski, which, no disrespect to Dejan Kulusevski, he's having a fantastic season so far, but there's still more in goal involvements from Nani Madueke. Listen, there is a player there. On his day, he is our best dribbler, and he knows that on his day, he is the best player in this team. Yeah. And today, he played like he was the best player on the team.
And to the comment that's saying Madueke was trash, he could have had 5 goals. Cool. Palmer was trash then. How about that? Right?
He's got to
Felix
was
trash.
Felix was trash.
Yep.
None could have had 3, but Felix could have had 2.
Yeah, we could have 12.
We won 5-1,
two chances on a plate for this man. What are we talking about? Bro,
hold up. Nani should have also had 1 more assist, minimum.
Easy.
You could also think about it. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, if you're going to take that road, you got to roast the whole entire attack if that's the case.
I think a big issue that I've always had, whenever we speak about Madueke, and you guys have had my thoughts about this before, is that we've got a young squad. We need to let these guys actually develop, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? We can't. I don't think we're not in this era.
22, I think.
We're not in this era, in my personal opinion, of like where we were in the past, where we can just say, F this player, you know what I mean? Let's get another guy in straight away. You know what I mean? We don't roll. That's not the way we do stuff anymore. So,
it's frustrating because it's like Chelsea fans. A lot of Chelsea fans haven't learned from the last 2 years. Like, listen, the £1 billion spent that rivals like to use against us and all this stuff, it was an investment. And there's a reason why a lot of us aren't millionaires or billionaires, because a lot of Chelsea fans don't know what an investment means. It doesn't mean you get an immediate return on it. It doesn't mean you're immediately injecting the team with quality players. It means you are injecting the team with players that will have potential, that will return to you a lot more than when you initially buy them. And right now with Nani Madueke, we've seen time and time again, this guy has the ability to give you those returns. And like Javon said, like Prime said, and like I've been saying, and like shout out to Alexis Kapka's View, he also said this, and he's the one that really instilled this in my head. When Nani has a chip on his shoulder, when there is competition, when he feels like there is something to prove, this is what we see. We see this level of player that on his day, bro, this man is competing with Bukayo Saka on his day. He's not there yet. He has to show it more consistently. He has to show it through more goals, more assists, more dribbling ability. Consistency is key for this player. But if he can do it consistently, bro, I'm not sitting here telling and having this discussion that Bukayo Saka is better than him. But right now, because Bukayo Saka can do it more often, listen, I'm being shameless. I don't give a fuck. I'm in second place. Where are you, Arsenal? Let's just hold that, all right? Because I see ball and I know a good player when I see it. And Nani Madueke is a good player. He's been frustrating lately, though. And I don't think anyone here is denying that this player has been frustrating.
Bro, I'm not even going that far. All I'm saying is, you see this level of performance against Southampton? I'm begging you for 4 or 5 games, translate this into big games.
Yes.
Notice I don't say 4 or 5 games period. I need this level of performance in 4 or 5 big games, because on another day, the goalkeeper doesn't clear a couple of those chances off the line.
Yeah, 100%.
On another day, Felix isn't as wasteful. Palmer isn't as wasteful. And this man is walking out with 4 goals, 4 assists. What are we talking about?
I think Javon, like what you're saying, right? I think if we see this for 4 or 5 games straight, then we're talking about more progress. And people want to say like, oh, we haven't seen progress from Nani and all that stuff. I just want to remind people, and I remember me and Ahmed were having these discussions early onset days. We were worried about Nani's fitness. We were worried that Nani, when he came into this team, was an injury-prone player. Yeah, we were worried he was an injury-prone player because he was picking up knocks and injuries at PSV pretty frequently. And even from that player to what we're seeing now, to being available, that to me is progress. That is growth. And listen, I'm just hoping we see more of it, because I'm happy with what I saw from Nani today. I am a little annoyed and frustrated, obviously, that there were like at least 2 or 3 big chances missed from him. But regardless, he also had assists he was robbed of. João Felix had a huge chance he missed, and we saw more and more from other players. But
and this is the thing, is like we had 10 big chances and we missed 7 and still scored 5. Like Nani is not all 7 big chances missed. Like
yeah.
Bro, I'm actually, I once I started to understand the fan base, I stopped pressing the issue that much, because what I realized, bro, agendas will always agenda. You can't get away from that.
No,
you
that's
literally,
true.
there's literally no way to make everybody happy. Like there's
No,
some
there is.
players are just never going to
Even after this game, there's still. I guarantee you. Who is? Okay, hold on.
That's Prime, of course.
Yeah, I just gotta say, like, even after today's game, I gotta admit, like, there are Chelsea fans out there that are still waiting on the Maresca downfall. It's pathetic. It's sad to see. You can just hold that. You guys can loathe in whatever hole you're loathing in because.
Like Martin.
No, what do you mean, bro? Like, what are we doing, bro? Like if you're gonna have an agenda, have a proper agenda, bro. But anyways, never me. I was accused of being a Bowley supporter for the longest time, so it was never me. But
you do realize I know this, right, Marshall?
Yeah, I know. But it's again, like, you're never gonna like make everyone happy. It is what it is. I love Chelsea. I love Chelsea more than I love my agendas. I have agendas. I make it clear, but Chelsea isn't one of them. I'm a Chelsea fan. I want Chelsea to do well. I'm going to hope for Chelsea to do well. I'm going to hope for the business deals to go well. I'm going to hope for the ownership to do well. I'm going to hope for the recruitment to do well, because at the end of the day, if they do well, Chelsea does well. My club does well. And right now, dude, I'm just ecstatic. I'm over the moon. I'm saying things that I might not even mean tomorrow because I'm just happy to see that we're in second place. Liverpool dropped points. Like, we're getting closer and closer to that narrative of we might be in a title race. I still want to wait till the end of December, but
we already said if anybody tries to tell us that right now, bro, we gotta hit the Neto celebration, bro. We gotta hit one of these.
Yeah, for sure. No, we definitely gotta do. Javon, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, no, bro. I'm saying we've been in the trenches for 2 years, bro. 12 and 6, and then the 6. We can't even say okay, there's progress because we finished 6th. If you look at the games we lost and drew last season, we should have never been 6th.
Yep,
100%.
Yeah, they understand. So the struggle was
against
even
the
more
bottom
painful.
3 teams. We could have just made top 4 alone.
Bro, it's the season we finished 12. I think we could always hold up our hand and say the squad was shit, squad building was shit. Plus, we're going through a transitional period. Yeah. Last season, to know that you could have genuinely been better and you see someone screwing that up was more painful. Now we're at a statement or a segment where we're just enjoying it. Like, no one here, I think, is partitioning and championing the type.
Yeah.
We're just happy to be good again, and that's genuinely it. Yes, maybe by February we will definitely have to change. Look at Patch. Yes, maybe by February we will have to change our mindset to click into the challenging mindset. But bro,
I am not a clown.
Yes, you are. Yeah. Maybe by then we will have to change our mindset and click into challenging, and everyone here will have to show some form of chess for the club we love. But until then, love us, man. Don't default to us because your team is failing.
Yep. Speak on it, bro. Don't be mad. Don't be mad because you should be where Liverpool's at. That is not our problem. That is your problem. We are just chill guys. Listen, we're chill guys, bro. We're literally here. We're just on the ride. You feel me? We're here. Wherever it goes, we're at the table.
We're just chill guys that like to play football, bro. We're chill guys that like to see tactics on the pitch and direction on the pitch versus the rock and roll, whatever potch tax we had last season. And at the end of the day, too, like, listen, if Chelsea have to force me into a conversation where I'm saying like we're not in the title, like I feel like that's a good thing. Like, I feel like I'm back in this conversation. Like, the fact that I have to have this conversation, like, dude, we're not ready. But everyone else thinks to seem we're ready. Obviously, a good portion of it is, people want to go out and try to set us up to fail. And there's the Arsenal cope as well. But if Chelsea are forcing me into a conversation at the end of the month to say that we are in a title race,
I'm with it, bro.
Holy crap, I'm with it. Fuck it. I'll bring out the pitchforks and the torches. I'll riot. I'll go outside and protest by myself for Chelsea, bro. I'll do it. So, like, I'm all for it. I just want to read this comment real quick before Prime goes. Enzo Maresca did come out and say this about Nani. The reason he was not playing is because of the way he was training. When he scores one, he needs to keep trying to score and assist. Nani needs to understand he has to work more and he can be much, much, much better. And that's exactly what most of us alluded to with the work rate. He can't get complacent. Prime, go ahead.
Let's be honest though, really. The majority of people who are trying to bring this title talk are Liverpool fans who don't have enough faith or trust in their team to win the league from this position. The reason why they don't have faith in the league is because they've been in this position at least 4 times previously under Klopp and have failed to win the Premier League. They have never won a Premier League title race. The reason why Arsenal fans want to put us in this conversation is to hide the fact of they've been having a shambolic season so far. So if both of those fan bases want to admit that they've been wrong about Chelsea over the past few years, they've been wrong about our ownership, they've been wrong about our player signings, they've been wrong about Jackson, they've been wrong about Cole Palmer, they've been wrong about Colwell, they've been wrong about Caicedo, they've been wrong about Enzo, they've been wrong about Madueke, they've been wrong about Neto, they've been wrong about Felix, they've been wrong about Sancho, they've been wrong about Cucurella, they've been wrong about Maresca.
Cry more.
They want to admit they've been wrong and they want to apologize to us. I'll accept the title. I'll accept we're in a title race if I get apologies about all of these things. If they want to admit that they were gaslighting us about Poch last year, if they want to admit all of these things, I'll accept the title race. 100%. I don't mind. I'll accept it. But you have to apologize to us. If not, then we're not title racing. We're just capitalizing on your failures.
Nah, we're just chilling. Say it like we're just chilling.
I told you. I already told you. There's no more to say.
It's more to say. Bro,
in the word, what I would say, guys, there's 3 points at a time, man. That's all you have to say. 3 points at a time.
Bro, they're trying to set themselves to tear us down. At the end of the day, last season you would have still came here and said Chelsea should have beaten Southampton. Would you have not? So basically, we've just been beating who we're supposed to beat. Because technically, did we beat anyone of the big 6? Apart from Newcastle, did we beat anyone of the traditional big 6?
No.
Okay, so please do not default on us because we're literally just beating what we're supposed to beat. No, granted, the performances has been better, right? Granted,
Jackson's one of the worst strikers in the league, bro. How can he take us to a title race? Maresca's a championship manager.
How in God's name can we be in a title race with people like Sanchez in goal?
Speak on it, bro. People tell me we have one of the worst defense out of the top 6. Remember, shaky every game.
They told me until the brick Disasi ain't good enough. They told me Tosin is a cone. So you know about Cole, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I am not going to get started on this topic because I could go on a rant for 45 minutes with
man, we got time, bro. We might go for 3 hours.
People are hypocrites. That's what it is. Because people literally tell us, "Are you gonna beat Southampton tomorrow? Make sure you do it." But then when we draw a game, Chelsea's a lie. You guys aren't as good as you think you are. See, you didn't get the wins against the top 6. You're not there yet. How are we not there yet? Yet we must. Yeah, we're also in the title. Like they don't make sense. Week to week, they don't make sense,
bro. No. Including CB, no Chelsea fan has straight up said we're going for a title race. Everyone said based on opportunity.
CB said he just wants to be in the combo. That's it. He's
exactly. And based on opportunity, if we're there, we're there. Nope. But every logical fan is saying next season for sure.
Hey, listen, we're not supposed to be in the club. How can you expect us to draw a 10 out of 10? We're not supposed to be here, bro. We're not supposed to be here.
Bars! That's bars!
Supermodels, bro. We're not supposed to be in this club. We snuck in. We're just in the background chilling, enjoying the scenery, bro. Let's just enjoy it for the season.
Wait, Gesture. What did he say? I need a clip. What did he say?
Yeah, I need to hear that in context.
Yeah.
You said we're gonna win the league,
bro.
Hey! I need to hear the clip. Give me the clip.
I'm gonna be straight up. I'm gonna be straight up. I don't even wanna have a comment on this topic because I'm gonna go off. What I really want to ask you guys, how you guys feeling about people telling us we can't rotate because it's Southampton? Now I'm more gassed about that topic because when I said you guys are underestimating our squad because you're acting like we're subbing in scrubs,
bro.
The only two people, bro. I literally said the only 2 people that I wouldn't put in would be Cassidy and KDH. I would keep Enzo and Caicedo because we know they can play multiple games based on last season, and the way we play is not as physical as last season. And there were two of the more durable ones. So I'll keep the midfield. But when you look at Vega could come in, and Vega didn't even come in. We still had Cucurella. Tosin could come in. But Disasi could come in at centre back.
Okay. I have to, because I'm looking at Prime and he's smiling, and I have to correct a notion here, okay? Listen, when this was brought up in the last stream, Prime, you said put in the cup team. The cup team is Axel Disasi at right back, right? The cup team is Renato Vega at left back. The cup team is, KDH and Cassidy in the pivot, which you did say, like, probably keep Caicedo or Enzo in there, right?
I didn't say cup team. I said we should
You did.
rotate.
We can go back. And you said we can play the cup team. We can play the B team. That's what you said.
I said we should rotate.
There's no misinterpretation. I will, after the stream, I'll go back and show you what you said. So,
I didn't say cup team. But anyway, which we did today. The Sassy coming in.
No. I'm not having this. No. Listen, the difference between that cup team, versus this team is that we had key positions today were not rotated. That left back position I consider a key position because Cucurella is one of our best players. Caicedo and Enzo in that double pivot. I think Caicedo did do a full 90. Those are key positions. I think today, I think Axel Disasi is justified in what I've been saying for the last months is that I feel bad for him and I give him the benefit of the doubt because he's been playing in that wide right back position. Today we put him in the center right now we put him in the right of center back. He looked decent.
We're not doing this because I never said we should rotate key positions. When I said rotate, I said
you said bring in the cup team. You said put the cup team. Rotate the whole squad is what you said.
I said I would have rotated the whole squad. But what I knew Maresca would do is he would do a lot of rotation, which we did. We had the spine, just Caicedo, Enzo, Cucurella, Palmer, but the rest of them we rotated that we should have. Jorgensen coming in. Because of Fofana being out, Disasi is rested because he's going to play against Spurs. Paddy Show being rested, sorry. Disasi and Tosin coming in makes sense. Gusto coming in at right back makes sense. Having Madueke and Felix on the wings makes sense because Neto and Sancho
Prime, even the chat's calling you out, Prime.
I would have changed the full XI.
Yeah.
I personally would have. I didn't say Maresca would. I said Maresca will make changes and rotate.
The thing is, I think Maresca learned his
lesson. I would have changed.
That was a rude awakening for him.
Probably a good thing.
Newcastle?
I think the Newcastle Cup game was a rude awakening for him. Like, he's not doing that anymore. Like, it's even in the Prem against the bottom half.
Yeah, so it's probably a good thing why he kept the spine of Caicedo, Enzo, Cucurella, Palmer, our technicians in the actual game. I would have rotated fully, and maybe it probably wouldn't have worked. But it's good he kept at least our technicians in this game.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, the runners, quote unquote, if you want to say, changing them out. It's a good thing. We did what we had to do. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I'm happy about it too. Even today, though, like, you could say this was like mostly a B-side team. I would say it's a bit of a hybrid because we know Malo Gusto is not a B-side team. He's not technically in that B team, right? He's still A team and all that stuff. He actually played right back today, and I don't think he inverted. He did invert. He actually had a decent game. He started off a little shaky, but Malo Gusto was actually at right back. We had Axel Disasi play at center back with Tosin, and they actually looked decent. I mean, Tosin was a little shaky in the beginning, but I think he settled into the game afterwards. I mean, the goal, you could say, was in part his fault, which if I find the goal, we'll go over the goal. And then when you look at the attack, you had a pretty stacked attack with Cole Palmer in there. Nkunku, who, yes, he is part of the B team. Nani, who hasn't really established himself into the B team. We're still having, questions whether he's going to be an A team or a B team player. And then on the left, we've had, João Felix, who is, a B team player at the moment. So it was a hybrid. It was a hybrid of, players transitioning between A to B team and B team and A team.
Stop. Hold on. Let me come in here.
Let Javon go, because he was waiting.
Let me come in here. I think at this point, we should stop the A team, B team separation.
Thank you.
Yes, there's clearly players that may not come into this A team, like Casade, I'm thinking KDH. But Tosin has played games this season in the A team, i.e. Liverpool, one of the biggest games we've played this season. Madueke has been fluctuating between the two. Felix has jumped in front in the pecking order in terms of getting into that A team, and Nkunku is still yet to be seen given more minutes in the A team and starting. No, the reason why I'm saying this, I'm going to wrap this up here. With the amount of games we have this season and the trajectory we are on, we're going to need every single one of those people. And please remember, we still haven't gotten the best out of Felix Nkunku yet. And Madueke is up there new. And dare I mention Mudryk. Mudryk was the only reason why we didn't see Mudryk today is because he was ill. Imagine Mudryk against that.
Oh, he was. I didn't know that.
Back line.
Yeah, Mudryk was ill. That's why he wasn't even on the bench.
Wow. Okay. Good to know. I didn't know that.
Yep.
That makes sense. That makes sense why Palmer played then.
Exactly. So.
Do you think Palmer would have been benched?
I think it would have been Felix in the middle and Palmer and
Mudryk on the left.
On the left, I think.
Bro, when you really take a look at this game, when you really look back at this game, bro, Southampton, all we had to do was press. If we want to break it down to the basic, all we had to do was press. Southampton was their own ticking time bomb.
Biggest enemy, yep.
And then so said, so done. So we didn't need that much quality. All I'm saying is this is a good catalyst for when we're playing these lesser teams to slowly make certain changes. One of the and the next thing we should try to get some little rest periods for Caicedo, Enzo, and Lavia.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Caicedo's bro. Every time he goes down, bro. Every time he goes down, like literally, like my heart is like,
we can't lose you
every time, bro.
Yeah, bro. Lavia might be able to replace it for 2 or 3 weeks, but if he's injury prone too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can't. We can't.
What we did today, the players that came in, like these guys are. People would say they're B team or whatever, and yeah, you can say about the Newcastle game, but they are Premier League quality players. Yeah. Tosin's played in the Prem before. Disasi was playing last season. Nkunku is meant to be a top player. Felix, these are all barring Jorgensen, who was not played here before. The rest that came into the team are Premier League proven players. So them coming in against Southampton should not have been a problem.
And that's the thing. Like, this is what we mean when we say we have a good bench. A good bench is players that are realistically, if they perform, able to break into the first team at times. Exactly. People just have a bench sometimes with players just to fill in the position, just in case.
Scrubs.
But they're not. Yeah, they're pretty much scrubs. We don't have that.
Yeah, barring like Cassidy, Drewsbury Hall. I'm surprised Vega didn't get. Actually, no, he did come on the defense. But barring Cassidy, Hall, the rest of our actual squad, like certain players, can come into the Prem depending on the team and play and actually have good games. So I'm happy that this Southampton game actually proves that. Because yes, it was a shaky start, but these guys didn't just crumble. It could have gone. It could have been 2-0 because it could have crumbled, but they didn't. They kept playing and
bro. Like I said, once it clicked, now it was it. There was no coming back. Once Felix put his foot on the ball and started to find those passes, it was done. Like Felix today for me was brilliant, except in front of goal. Yes. Same thing with Palmer. Same thing with Nkunku. Everybody was good except in front of goal.
Again, 7 big chances missed out of 10. Like that's all you need to say.
Which, by the way, real quick before we continue, we have a guest. Well, not a guest. We have a panelist here that has to answer for some things that he has said apparently on a specific terrace of football. And listen, I'm just surprised that it's coming from this man, because if I had said this, I feel like he would have shot me down. But it's coming from him, so surely there's logic and reasoning behind it. And if anyone's gonna explain it, it's gonna be him. Surfer, welcome back to the channel. Good to have you back here, my friend. We have it right here. Apparently, we are in a title race. Yep. And it will result in us being the top 4, so it's a win-win. And that Chelsea fans need to accept the reality. You said this?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. So we coming with chess now. Okay.
No, hold on. I think you guys are misunderstanding what he said. I read that as, with the full context, is we're going to overperform, but we're not going to really win anything, and we finish top 4. Versus struggling to get into the top.
Hold up, shoot for the stars, and if you miss, you land on the moon.
We are.
I thought it was shoot for the moon and land on the stars.
Actually, numerically in a title race, and the longer we're in a title race, it achieves the main
English is
goal.
a second language.
It achieves the main goal that 95% of this fan base wanted at the start of the season, which is top 4. So Chelsea fans should embrace the title race talk. Because the longer we're in it, that means we're dissing ourselves from the top 4 race pack, and we are solidified there. Now, if we continue to cut, if by the end of March, early April, it's like 3 or 4 points difference, then we are in a definite title race.
Yeah, I understand. I definitely understand where you're coming from, and I support you.
Yeah.
But it's the way you phrase it. That's the issue. Why people are saying, "Oh, he said this." Like, knowing the fan base, I would have phrased it like, "Listen,
this
we're
is the same fan
overperforming
base
right now."
This is some of the same fans who, when Lewis's chat earlier, when the starting lineup came out, were pissing themselves, thinking we were going to lose to Southampton.
Exactly, bro.
Find shame, bro.
This is true.
That's when I said grow some balls. It's Southampton. Can I just tell you right now?
Bro, it's Southampton, bro.
Southampton, brother, please.
Shit. They are shit, right? Even before the red card, they're shit, right? I know we had a dodgy first 20 minutes, but I should be sitting here now saying to you, legitimately, I think we should have won that 12-1 tonight.
I was saying 10.
Wait, Wait, do you know the stats for the game?
Yeah.
We had 10 big chances and missed 7.
This is the XG for tonight's match. Chelsea's XG tonight was the most on record, 5.29 by a team in any away Premier League match since 2008-2009. We set up.
No, by the way,
they started
tracking XG in 2008-2009. So as far as history,
I don't think they did it back then. I thought it was like around 2016.
Yeah, so we've matched the XG from the oh my days.
I would say this, and the fact that we still scored 5. The damning thing tonight, if there's any criticism, is that it should have been more. Even before the red card. I think we should have been. I think before the red card, it could have been legitimately 7-1 before the red card.
Yeah. Really quickly, boys, I have to drop. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, you're always welcome.
Take care.
And I don't know if Marshall told y'all, but check out our new show on my channel. Check out our new show on my channel. It's called The Sideline View. Winter Surfer, we'd love to have you on. All of you boys, we'd love to have you on.
DM me, bro.
Same thing. DM me.
Yeah, Marshall will set it up and we move, you know. All right, guys, I gotta go. Peace. Lovely stuff. Up the Chelsea. Madueke.
Big up. But, you know, the one thing I do want to add, right, before we continue this conversation is that I know there's going to be the rival fans saying, like, calm down, it's Southampton, all this and that. I just want to point out something. That this is the same Southampton that gave Liverpool trouble. This is the same Southampton that I think got the lead against Arsenal, and Arsenal had to make a comeback against them. This is the same Southampton that's been giving multiple teams in this league that are in this conversation for top 4 and top 6 and all that trouble. But we Chelsea beat them convincingly. Not because we have good players, not because we are Chelsea, but because this man right here on my screen, Enzo Maresca, is a tactician. He knows how to set up against these teams, and he changes the lineup based on every team, based on every profile that he needs. This man I am so blessed to have this manager. I really am.
Marshall.
I'll be honest.
Sorry, can I just say something else that might shock a lot of people on this? And so no one has to grasp me up that I was on another stream talking about title talk or title race. I feel like someone's like ratted me out or something like I didn't do it silently.
I asked for receipts. I asked for clips. I was like, there's no way he said it.
João Felix played very well tonight. Very impressive, João Felix. And he played very well against Leicester as well.
That's high praise. That is some high praise.
I've got no,
especially coming from.
No, I will say one thing. The one thing that did annoy me was that chance in the first half where he backheeled it to the shooting. That's all on his right foot. That was the only thing that really bothered me. And he should have scored a couple of goals as well. That's what I'm talking about. The chances. He should have scored a couple of goals. Madueke definitely should have bagged a hat trick. I was Tosin hit the bar and the post during the game as well. That's what I'm talking about. The only criticism I have, apart from the first 20 minutes where I thought it was a basketball game essentially. That's the only criticism I have, is that we should be sitting here now saying Chelsea have broken another Premier League record for the biggest victory in the Premier League history by double digits. I'm serious right now. Southampton, I'll tell you right now, there's a chance Southampton may get less points than that a certain Derby team did about 15 years ago. They only got 11. They are.
No, they'll get more points than Derby.
They are crap. They still played the same way even down to 10 men. You know that, right?
If we were clinical, they should have been relegated today. Like literally today. I'll be so honest.
If we did get that, if we did break the Premier League record for biggest victory, just automatic demotion. Scott, what are you saying to me, brother?
I was just gonna say what you said about Maresca like before. I'll be honest, this is not the game I'm gonna big up Maresca for, and that's not me like being critical. It's just a case of like what happened today wasn't on Maresca. It was on Southampton being the worst team in the Premier League and being down to 10 men. Like they were shit. That was it. Like they were just shit.
I mean, I feel like that's being a little disingenuous to us. But yeah, exactly. Like RSM said, by the time that Southampton lost a player, we had scored 3 already.
It wasn't.
We had already missed 4 big chances by that time too.
Yeah, but no, but they were giving us a game until the second goal. The moment their keeper gives us the second goal, it kills the game. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, and that's nothing that we did. That's literally outside of Madueke pressing, which was good. It's their goalkeeper. Like McCarthy did the same thing to Liverpool. He gave them 2 goals. Exactly. That's just this team. Southampton are just shit. Like I'm not bigging up Southampton. I'm not saying they gave this team. They are dog shit. They are terrible.
And also, most of us did have us thumping Southampton before that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just disappointed. That's all I'm going to be. It's not going to say until Spurs. I'm just disappointed.
Also, shout out Jorgensen. He got tested once or twice. Some good saves.
Yeah. Good saves. People don't realize like when people were talking when I said like we can rotate and stuff, people were saying that they're good. Look what they did to Liverpool. You don't realize how many players they actually have out. They have like 11 players out. Their best players are missing. No Taylor, no Bellis, no Dibbling, no Adam Lallana, no Paul Onuachu. They have serious players out. They have their 4th choice goalkeeper in goal. Guys, like we should have put more past them. The chances we created, the chances Madueke created, we should have put more past them. That's the only disappointing thing from this game.
I'll say we scored 5.
Yeah, it's the only disappointing. And on a different day, this game is like what 7, 8, 9.
No, it's 10.
10.
I reckon 12. I seriously reckon 12.
No. The thing is, look, if we add on the big chance miss, which is 7, we scored 5. He's not wrong. It would be around 12.
I think 12. Honestly,
it would be around 12.
Scored 12. I honestly, even before the red card, I legitimately think we could have been 7 or 8-1 up.
Yes,
I honestly think so.
By the time of the red card, we were up 3-1. We had 4 big chances missed.
And that's my only disappointment. I'm not even like, I thought I would rather have kept a clean sheet, but I'm not even disappointed by the goal that we conceded. I'm disappointed that we didn't put more past them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
No,
that's ultimately the thing. Like, ultimately with this game, it's kind of outside of the goalkeeper. If I'm not being shameless about a certain player, there's not outside of the goalkeeper. There's nothing to take away from this game because we played at like 70% for most of that game. It was like a conference league game. We played at like we were like 70-80% the whole game. We basically played with 10 men most of it because Gusto didn't turn up today, and we beat them 5-1 because they sucked. And that's the thing. It's like a conference league game. How much do you take away from that game? It's like Jorgensen was great. The rest keep it stepping. Like
you see again, 3rd game in a row. Third game in a row. But we haven't, because of circumstances, we haven't had to push ourselves 100% during this Christmas, during this build-up in December. Yeah. Where we attacked, but we had more of the ball because we're just better, right? But we weren't, we didn't have to go full throttle. We just kept the ball, kept passing it around, but we didn't have to go full throttle in against Villa, against Leicester.
Exactly.
And we got Spurs at the weekend. We made changes, and Spurs play tomorrow away at Bournemouth, and they can't rotate like we can rotate. Yeah, they can't do that because they haven't got the squad to do.
They can't afford it. Yeah, they don't
can't
have the squad to
rotate.
And even the chances that we created, it's not like in previous seasons where we would create, we would miss 10, 11, whatever big chances, but you could tell with every chance missed, we were struggling to break them down. No, we created these chances with ease. We weren't trying today. If we actually, there was, I think, someone came on and Jackson was warming up and he looked furious that he wasn't part of this game. He wanted Jackson is going to pick his Spurs.
Well, that would
bro. He's going to.
That would teach him. That would teach him not to mouth off to get so many yellow cards.
You're so right. You're so right.
That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big reason why he didn't play.
I reckon he could have bagged a hat trick tonight.
He would have. With the form he's on,
he's saving it. He's saving it for Spurs. He's saving it for Spurs. Fine.
That would teach him. That would teach him. Stop now.
I think he only has one yellow that's literally not just like.
Yeah.
Everything else is just
3 of them are for dissent or non.
Yeah, 100%. Chris, you wanted to say something?
Did I?
I heard you, so apparently he didn't need to. I
guess
thought you
not.
wanted to say something.
No, I wouldn't get warm before. I don't know. I listened to
All right, never mind. You're just chilling. You're a chill guy, just like Maresca, bro.
My head is playing.
That's Chris at 70% right there. That's Chris at 70% right there. Right.
I was before the chill guy, eh?
Because we were just talking about Jackson, right? I do have to ask.
Jackson.
Did Nkunku do anything? Not anything. Did Nkunku do enough today to convince you that he should probably start more games?
Nope.
And
he was never going to. He was never going to.
No, I'll be real. He could have done, in a sense of like, he could have.
He had chances.
It's the same as for us. I'm repeating myself in some instances. But it's the same as the Heidenheim game. It's a case of like it was a decent performance. It was a good performance from a squad player. But if that was a performance, the performance he has today, if we see that from Madueke, if we see that from a Dewsbury Hall, if we see that from a Carney when he plays, it's banging performance. For Nkunku, it's a good performance. That's it.
The only way he would have had a chance would if he scored like 4.
Yeah.
I still think the manager would not.
I'm just saying I want him to score a hat trick with how bad Southampton were.
Even then, though, I still don't think he would have started over Nico Jackson away at Tottenham. I just don't.
Well,
the high line, Andrew,
not away at Tottenham, but I'm just saying in general.
But this is the conversation we've had about Nkunku the whole year. This is Nkunku.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is Nkunku. Like, this is a typical Nkunku performance this season. There's nothing different to what he's done today than what he's done the rest of the season. It's like, there was a point, by the way, in the second half, we were on Lewis's stream, and there was a point where I can't remember who it was, someone went, does Nkunku even touch the ball yet? And this was about 65 minutes in.
Ahmed and I literally said that on stream. I was like,
second half he disappeared.
Nkunku is still on.
Yeah, he picked the ball up at one point in the 17th minute in midfield. And I went, is that the first time he touched the ball this half? That's Nkunku in this team. Like, as much as we want him to be better, that's Nkunku. It's limited touches. He'll probably score maybe a penalty, maybe 1 goal. That's about it.
I think in strike, he is very limited in touches. But if he's in like left wing or 10, he's getting a lot more involved there. I just that's why you can play with Jackson in strike.
If you're putting Nkunku in the team as a 9 to replace Jackson, he's not going to do the same as Jackson.
It's a completely different profile.
Completely different player. Different player.
Which is
the way he's built as well. He's not different build, different attitude. Not saying it's a bad attitude, by the way. Just different attitude. He just doesn't do what Jackson does.
Yeah, okay. I mean, he did get on the score sheet, which is good for him.
Could have got a second, but the ball was too slow and Palmer scored.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But I think today what's frustrating, it's actually exactly like Scott said. I think the majority of us in the fan base want him to be that player that we think he is, right? Want him to be I know right now he has 12 goals, which is the most for us at Chelsea in between all competitions. But us Chelsea fans who watch these games, we know there's context to it. Now, we know that those 12 goals, on paper, it might look good, but with context, it's a bit of a farce. Like, we know where it's coming from. We know that the performances weren't great. Go ahead, Scott.
Question. Because I've just thought of this now. You say 12 goals, and I've just thought of this. Outside the one against, what's it called? Outside the one against Noah, where he gets it back on the volley after the save, how many can you name that aren't penalties?
Well,
how many do you remember?
Barrow was the hat trick, right?
Cool. What were the goals?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I remember one, he dispossessed the goalkeeper. A second one, I think, was like flick on.
Was it the heel flick? Was it the heel flick? That barrel was the heel flick goal, right?
I think it was the heel flick, or it was like a flick on or something like that.
Barrel was the heel flick.
That's the only two I remember from that game. I don't remember the third one. Obviously, there was the Brentford one where we won it, or was it?
Bournemouth.
No, it wasn't Brentford. Bournemouth. I'm sorry. I get those teams confused all the time. Bournemouth won. And then, obviously, because it was recent, I remember like he did score one. Like, no, I don't think he even scored against Heidenheim.
He did.
I still remember.
He scored one.
Yeah, he scored one. I missed that one, so I wouldn't have.
And I think he had like 2 penalties in there. That's it. And those are for the conference.
No, he's had more than 2. He's had about, I think, 3 or 4.
This is what I mean. Like,
it's like
he goes in these performances.
If you compare that to like Palmer or Jackson, I can tell you way more. I can remember and tell you way more the goals that Palmer scored and Jackson scored compared to Nkunku.
Or even Jackson. I remember almost
like,
Jackson's goals.
I think
you obviously won't remember all of them, and I'm not expecting everyone to know.
I think I do remember all of Jackson's goals.
Yeah, to be fair, I think I do too as well, because they've been important. Like almost all of them have been important.
Big goals.
Yeah, and it's just like, and that's the thing. And that's unfortunately what it is with Nkunku. It's just like, there's nothing. And what I find wild is I agree with what Surfer said in terms of like the profile, but that's nuts to me because this is a guy who was doing all of that at Leipzig. And has been doing all of that in the rest of his career. Like I said, the fact that he can't do the stuff Jackson can do is nuts to me. Like the hold-up play, fair enough, I understand because build's better. The build is different. But the link-up play, the running the channels, the moving into space, the collecting the ball, like...
I thought he did that a lot in the first half. They, as a
team, a little bit more.
And stuff, but the second half, definitely not. Because of the situation.
But even then, sir, for like the pressing that I saw from him versus like Jackson's. And I'll address that in a minute. Like the pressing I saw from him versus what I see from Jackson, it was like lazy pressing. It was like pressing for the sake of, hey, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna do the press, like all that. That was the kind of pressing I saw.
If we're being honest, and we have to think about it, it might have even been from even a half time going, okay, we're 3-1 up. We're against 10 men. Let's try and score some more goals, but we don't now have to go full throttle because we're in total control.
Yeah, and to be fair, the weather too didn't favor him.
In the second half, can I just be honest? I thought Palmer's passing was. I think this is one of his worst passing games I've seen.
Yeah, Palmer was not 100% on it.
Passing was lazy. I thought his passing was lazy. I think some decision making. I mean, I love Cucurella. Why the fuck is he chip crossing that thing, that ball?
That was a great pass, by the way, or ended up being.
Yeah, but why? Just shoot. We're 3-1 up. Just shoot. It's like, yeah, yeah. It's just some of the decision making. It was trying to be too cute. It was like, just get the goals, and then you can have all your flicky, shitty thing afterwards. Get that because I tell you what. But sort of when that fourth goal went in, I know we were going to win anyway. But I was like. I sort of went, phew. Do you know what I mean? It's like we should have been already. I should have already seen the fourth goal in the first half, or at least early in the second.
That pass that Felix had to Palmer though was nice. I can't lie, bro. That should have.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm just saying in an overall thing because I think the mindset was, and maybe rightfully so. We've already 3-1 up against 10 men. We don't really have to force it. You know what I mean? It was sort of. Things got a bit.
It'll come naturally, so they
it got lackadaisical and certain things, got lazy in some parts.
And to a certain extent, I got to give the players the fact that you do need to watch out for your fitness because I think today, with the rain, we saw how often. I think Moises slipped at one point. We saw Cucurella slip early in the game.
When
Enzo slipped.
Yeah, Crusader went down in the second half, and he held his knee. I went, like that.
Every time he holds his knee, I have trauma because that's the only injury he's ever had in his entire life. Was his knee. He had surgery on it as a kid.
To me, and I don't care if this is script or anyone disagrees in the chat or on the panel. To me, he's as important to us as Rodri is to Man City at this moment.
I agree. I agree.
That's not crazy to say.
I don't think that's crazy.
And I'm glad he was able to walk it off, and it was.
Go ahead, Scott, and then I want to address this comment.
I think this game highlighted that more because of those around him in terms of like he was by him. Like there were times in that first half, like especially when the first 20 minutes when Southampton were giving us a game, he was isolated. Like I even said on Lewis's channel, the first 5 minutes reminded me of Portugal, where he was on an island by himself in midfield because Enzo was nowhere to be seen. And like as good as he was going forward today, he stunk defensively. Like outside of the goal, he stunk defensively, and I think it's
he was the main culprit for the first goal.
I don't know if you guys have talked about it, but he got McGeady spin, Berber spin, something by Kyle Walker Peters. Kyle Walker Peters done him. That's over.
Resurrected the career.
You see that, and it's like you see then how key Caicedo and Lavia are in terms of like the Villa game, for example. Enzo had no defensive responsibilities, and even when he was quite out defensively, we still had the two behind him. So it was
only defensive he had in that game was literally in their own half. Like that's about
it.
Yeah,
and there were times when he needed to make a challenge and missed it, but then he had the two behind him, and it's like you see the difference, and you see how important Caicedo, particularly Caicedo, but Lavia as well at times are. And I agree with what Serv said. Like, Caicedo is so key to how we play in terms of being able to account for the deficits of other players in this team or deficiencies in this team.
I would have liked to actually when we went forward up, but I would have liked to see him taken off.
Yeah,
I'd like to taken off. We could have brought Vega on to play in that midfield position, and stuff like that. I or someone else or whoever it is, because it was Southampton 4-1 down.
Yeah, just real quick before we go, head first into the Enzo topic, because I do have stats to show, and I do want to talk more on Enzo as well. Listen, I don't think any of us here are Nkunku haters. Maybe one, but other than that, no. I really don't think any of us are Nkunku haters. I personally myself can say I wanted Nkunku to do really, really well this season, and I really expected him to do really, really well this season. And to an extent, he's doing well, just not really, really well. I think what all of us are saying in terms of Nkunku is that he is not performing to the level that I expected of him, and I had high hopes for him. Again, maybe it's because he's not playing in a 10 position, but I think for me, it's just he's not doing the work to the level that Jackson is. Because when I see Jackson in these games, Jackson sets a standard that when I look at Nkunku, all of a sudden I'm getting frustrated because of the standard that Jackson has set and the bar that he has placed in terms of what you're doing off the ball. Nkunku on the ball, great player. He can score you a goal. You can see today he has excellent finishing prowess. Was it there? It could have been better. He could have gotten a hat trick. He had chances. But outside of that, he wasn't really getting too involved. And that's something that Jackson has kind of completed in his repertoire. He's more, balanced out. He's more well-rounded as a striker. And it's kind of just a little lackluster when you see Nkunku's performance today and you're thinking like, why don't you do a 1-2 like we've seen you do under Poch's preseason? We saw the 1-2 link up with Jackson. Why aren't you doing that with Palmer? Why aren't you making the runs? Why aren't you coming a little deeper to see if you can get the ball like Jackson does? Like, these are all bars that Jackson set. And then you have people that I was having a huge debate today on Discord about how Jackson isn't as good as Nkunku. And I'm like, based on what? Based on what? Hearing this
because it's the same argument people have when they say, Nkunku's a better finisher. Based on what? There's no not in general, because
that's coming from Chris.
The only thing people have to say when it's he's a better finisher is what he did in the Bundesliga, which is the most open league in Europe.
That's
true.
And
if we're going based off that, Jackson got 9 goals in 8 games. So his finishing in Spain, his finishing record is just as good.
Plus, we can literally have multiple examples just this season alone of Jackson getting one chance, scoring 1 goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whether that be the first or the only chance he got that game.
But
and in big games too.
I keep hearing this excuse. He hasn't played much in the Prem. He isn't a striker. I understand he's not a striker. But you look at how Jackson plays. Jackson doesn't play like a Haaland. Jackson doesn't play, and he's a striker. He doesn't play he plays like a false 9. He plays like a 10 almost. And I'm not seeing that from someone who is supposedly a 10. And if you put Jackson in Conference League, I expect outstanding performances, similar performances to what we see in the Prem. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing the same Conference League performances from Nkunku in the Prem against Southampton than I am when he's in the Conference League. He's not lighting the world on fire. Jackson is. So
let's be honest. Let's be honest. He doesn't have a job in this team. If everyone's fit, he doesn't have a role in this team.
I already said.
No, go ahead. He can't play out wide, exclusively. He can't play as a 10 because Palmer's a 10, and he can't be a natural 9. He's not a natural 9, and Jackson's there. So
I think it's an unfortunate circumstance of recruiting.
I'll be real. Nkunku's a victim of circumstance because he was brought in to be the premier 10 for the team.
Yeah.
Then he got injured, and and Palmer was brought in to be the backup to him. Palmer blew up, basically took the 10 position from me, and then we got Felix, who was a backup 10. So unfortunately, like I said, he's a victim of the circumstances that happened around him, pretty much, because he didn't decide to get injured.
I'm past saying he's a victim of circumstance because I've seen enough of Nkunku so far where it's like, if you are performing in certain areas and it's just like, okay, you're still not getting game time. Like, he needs to get more game time in the Prem 100% than just the 10 minutes here and there. But even when he plays, it's like
big on my dust.
Like, for example, I don't rate Felix. I just straight up don't rate Felix. Same as Andrew. But some of the things that Felix does as a 10, like, he's not really a 10 with his end product, but the way he drives up the pitch with the ball, his press resistance, the way he's able to link up play and connect guys. Nkunku doesn't do any of that, which I expect from a 10.
Yeah,
so that means
if
he doesn't do any of that, he's not a 10. That means he's a 9. So if he's at that point a 9, I expect certain things of him. And
he's not putting on any pressure for anyone when he comes on.
No.
I know, and also, he needs more minutes and everything like that. So substitution.
I get that for sure. Yeah.
The other day against Villa, although I say again,
that 20 minutes, that was the most he's gotten all season.
Also, maybe that doesn't help, but he's not put. It's just unfortunate. It's a good thing it's unfortunate thing, but it's a good thing for us. Everyone, other players are in form, so we can't then take them out, put them in. Today was always going to be a rotation piece. I didn't think as many rotations were going to happen, especially the goalie. But he scored. We move on. Listen, I'd be fine if he comes on and starts bagging like winners and stuff like that and everything like that. Then he's got a legitimate case, right, to start games. He will start more games in the future, obviously, even in the league when rotation is needed again, or suspension or injury or stuff like that. It's just at the moment we can't.
This isn't true. This isn't true. By the way, he has been played as a 10.
I gotta head out, boys. Though, have a good one.
All right, Sam, have a good one.
Peace out, y'all.
He's played as a 10 in at least 3 different games this season. Obviously, that's not a big sample size.
He's played left wing as well, though. So
100%, but it's like he's played at 10 3 times, technically speaking.
What's crazy?
Met to okay in all.
You know what's crazy? Even in that one game against Man City, where he played at left wing, he's shown me more in that position than he's shown me in that 9 position. Like, listen, at the end of the day, obviously I'm being a little overly critical, or we're analyzing and nitpicking on things, because at the end of the day he is scoring, but it's the performances, because the bar by Jackson has been set so high now. It's that, like, we want Nkunku to reach those levels. Like, we want you to have more of an impact in the game. We want you, like, this isn't like Spurs with Harry Kane, where we're just gonna feed goals and we're just gonna get goals through Harry Kane. And this team, the way we're set up right now, we want goals from everyone. Jadon Sancho, who I'm gonna talk about, Jadon Sancho had a goal today. It was his first goal, but what else did he have aside from a goal? He had 3 assists prior to that. He's been contributing to the team's success. I want to see Nkunku contribute more to the team's success versus his own numbers and his own success. And I'm not saying he's a selfish player. I don't think he's a selfish player at all. In fact, we saw when Cole Palmer got that goal, he just laughed it off with him. Like, I think he's a good team player. But from Nkunku, I've seen those moments in games, even in that Man City games I've just referenced, where you can see him dribble through tight spaces and, like, he's untouchable and he's brilliant. I want to see more of that. And probably we probably could potentially see more of that if he plays more as a 10, but I don't see where he's playing on the pitch as a 9 is really stopping him, unless it's like strictly a tactic of Maresca, like, I don't drop, I want you to stay up there because you can't defend. Maybe it's something like that, but I doubt it.
Just quickly, as like a final thing on Nkunku, because I think we've probably spent a bit too long talking about him based on this game. One of the positives I'll say about Nkunku, not necessarily as him as a player, but like in the position we're at with him and how he's played this season, is I think I think we could easily replace him and still get the same output and level from another guy. Like if you were to play Nkunku with like an Omarodion or a Duran, I still think they score pretty much the same amount of goals given the same chances. I think they get in the same positions. I think they do about the same in the squad. So I don't think we end up losing much if we have to get rid of him and we get another striker in, to be honest. I think so that's a positive. I think is like even if we do lose him, I don't think we'll and get someone else in. I don't think we really lose much overall.
Yeah, let's actually talk on Enzo because I think the Enzo topic is another one that this is a player that dropping him was probably the best thing that happened to him this season. I'm not going to lie to you. Dropping him and bringing him back into the side has been the best thing to happen to him because now we're starting to finally see the fruits of what we paid for, at least in glimpses, right? I don't think it's fully there yet. It's not like Caicedo, who's been in this form since last season. And he's nonstop. He's been consistent. Right now, Enzo Fernandez in the last 7 games that he's played, I believe, has been involved in either a goal and assist. João Felix, Moises Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez created the most chances against Southampton, 3 each. And then we have Enzo Fernandez registered the joint most creations, 3 more successful passes, 74 out of 79, which is very insane, close to perfect passing success today. More attacking third passes, 27 out of 29, and more successful final third passes, 13 than any other player for either Southampton or Chelsea. Another assist recorded today, and he could have had more. And this is like at least his last 5 games. This guy, I don't know if it's the divorce. I don't know if it's the fact that he got dropped. This man has turned it around, and I hope it continues in this way. I think a lot of it has to do with Maresca finally understanding when is best to play him, where he can express his best strengths, and how to, cover the deficiencies with the staff that we have. I mean, Surfer, I'm sure I'd love to hear your opinion on what Enzo's been doing in these recent games and his performances.
Well, I've always thought that you'll see the best of Enzo when he's playing in some type of hybrid midfield 3. When he has Lavia and Caicedo further back, and he's not asked to defend a lot, or asked to defend a lot less than he has done previously when he's in the pivot. And you're able to see him work. This is the point where he starts on the left and it works. Unlike under Poch, when you play him on the left with a single pivot, which doesn't work. And I think, like Scott said, I think you saw when in the situation when he isn't, when he is part of the pivot, you see he's not that good or doesn't play that well. Obviously, he was helped today because Southampton are shit and they went down to 10 men, so they left a lot of gap and stuff like that. But no, to his credit, Maresca's been able to find a solution for him. He's not dropping Enzo against Spurs. I think Fernandez plays against Spurs. I really do. I think they might do the inverted Caicedo thing, but that's just I guess at this point. But yeah, he's played well. He's taken his chances. He's against Villa, against Leicester, played well. International break, he's played well. He got 3 assists against Noah. It's Noah, so we'll take it with a pinch of salt. Today, after the first 20 minutes, he was very good, like the rest of the team, and he was able to show his full display of his passes. Nearly got an assist, another assist when Nkunku shot, but because it was so slow, it was never really going to cross the line in time unless another Chelsea player like Palmer passed it through. But no, it's very good. Like I said, it's a small sample size of him playing well. It needs to be more before we can start going. But we start heaping so much praise on him that we can go, you see, that's the player we wanted all along. There's good signs at the moment, and may it continue. He played well again. He played well again overall. And finally, one of his corners actually beat the first man we scored from.
Well, yeah, we managed to score from that corner that you're referencing. I think, and yeah, that's something obviously we got to point out with context. In an ideal situation against another team, I don't think we see Enzo Fernandez playing in a double pivot with Moises Caicedo. You pointed it out. Like, I think the best you're going to see of him is when there's someone to cover your deficiencies in the back, in a Lavia or Caicedo, and he's, part of a midfield three. I think today, obviously, there were also moments where defensively he kind of gave Moises a little bit more work than he probably ideally wanted, but he's all for it. Yep. Yeah. And there was a lot of the reckless tackling, like I call it the Gallagher tackling, where he's just bum rushing into the player and just crashing into them, hoping to dispossess them. But at the end of the day, I don't mind that too much when the creative spark that I want from you, the attacking prowess, is there. And I think today we did see Enzo, really, really pressing and pushing the envelope to try to score more, to really try to get us into those attacking thirds and attacking passages of play. Scott, anything there that I may have said was incorrect?
No, I agree. I mean, it's like kind of like I said earlier. It's so difficult to take much away in terms of anything different to what we've seen, because it's like I still can't judge whether we're any more creative with Enzo in the team than not, because we're playing the worst team in the league. So he did really well going forward, and he is creative. But if he does this if he has this level of performance going forward again against Spurs and can replicate it over multiple games and against bigger teams, then I can start having that conversation, and I can start saying, okay, maybe we need him in terms of for his creative outlet. But if he keeps performing how he's doing, then he obviously shouldn't come out of the team. But yeah, as I said, it's just kind of hard to take much away from beating the worst team in the league, who were down to 10 men and offered nothing and had their fourth choice keeper and a guy starting at centre back who was their best player, by the way, but is making his first appearance of the season.
Mm-hmm. I think Andrew did say he wouldn't take him out for the Spurs lineup.
I agree.
Okay, because I was going to say
that high line, that Spurs high line.
I'd say there's many reasons why I wouldn't. Number one is the high line. Number two, there's no other right back. Gusto showed today, this man is. I don't know what has happened to this man. He's not it this season under any circumstances. And then Fofana's injured. I don't want Disasi there. Tosin has not played at right back this season, and I wouldn't try it against Tottenham. So, there's not really any other option apart from Caicedo, and I just think that would be the best option anyway. Play the same team that played against Villa.
Mm-hmm. It has to be with Lavia and Caicedo, right? Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Same team Villa, so Lavia, right back Caicedo.
Lavia has to come in. Lavia has to come in. He will come in. Alashile and Cotwell will come in. Neto and I'm assuming Neto and Jackson will come in as well. Enzo has to play, because even if Van der Ven's back, he's only coming back from hamstring injury. You want to test out how good that hamstring is healed with that high line. And I'm just telling you right now, my tactics with Jackson and Neto are, you guys just stay on the halfway line, especially Neto or something like that. You just stay on the halfway line, and we're just literally, when we have the chance, we're just going to hoof the ball. Not hoof the ball, but we're going to play it long and go like that on Sunday. And Enzo, we saw it previously against Brighton when they played their high line. The amount of passes he had, even if it was on the ground, through balls to Jackson, to Palmer and Jackson and stuff like that it works. And he played well last year against Spurs, even before they got the Romero red card on him, stuff like that. So
that's true.
It's something to have. And then we roll it. I don't even know who's after Spurs. Actually, I don't know if it's
Brentford at home.
I think
Brentford at home. Then you might not
in the league. It's Brentford at home.
Yeah, you're not even you might not play him against Brentford and stuff like that, because they're a different type of opposition. But defo against Spurs, I'd play him. Gusto more valuable than Enzo. Okay, nope. Tayo, that's fine. Not at the moment, he's not. And Gusto has to. I think this season mostly. I think we're finding out this season that Gusto has to has to adapt to a different manager who has tactics, unlike this previous one, which probably just told him just defend. That's what he was told last season. He's very good at that, but he's been asked to do other things, and at the moment he hasn't got the attributes to do that, and maybe he will find out. But this is a learning season for Gusto at the moment. So
yeah, and that's the thing with Gusto. If we want to transition over to Gusto, I think the thing that he has going for him is that he has credit in the bank. We've seen him perform really well for the last 2 seasons that he's been here. And we've seen him step up when Reece James was, out with injury and stuff. And last season specifically, I think last season he was arguably one of our best players of the season. If it wasn't for Cole Palmer,
I think I had him third on my player of the season.
Yeah, he was up there.
Top 3.
Yeah, third or fourth. I think I had him in terms of player of the season ranking.
Yeah. So to see this drop off is shocking, but at the same time, it's like we know how good of a player you are, so it must be just adaptation to the system.
There has to come a point though where you go to where Maresca has to go. Even though he's like 20 years old, 21 years old, has he got the foresight, has he got the mental capacity to understand what, and then physically can he do it? Because I just, the inverted thing's fine, but some players aren't just built for that. You know what I mean? It's like, asking him to invert and maybe be a 6, then fine, but ask him to invert and then be like an orthodox 10. No, just no. It just takes away from everything. Like,
I think as well is like, and I think this is the case with a lot of the guys in our team because they're young, is you can tell that Gusto is one of those guys again. I think because he's young, where it's like once his confidence gets knocked, he can get he can be got at. Because I think you're seeing that because we kind of passed the point in the season where it's just a case of he doesn't understand the role because he's now messing up on the basics, and I think that is a confidence thing. It's the same thing as Buddy Shield last season. It's like as soon as his confidence got knocked, all of the fundamentals went out the window, and it's the similar thing we were seeing with Gusto this season, where it's like all of his fundamentals that he had, like even the defensive work, it was decent today, but it's nowhere near what it was last season, and that was the one thing, regardless of anything last season, the one thing you could rely on Gusto for was defensively.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see that slip. It's like, okay, it's very much a case of like, at least I think he's been knocked because of how he's learning the system, learning the role. It's not worked so far. And then he's starting to lose confidence, and that's causing everything else to be affected.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because, I mean, if we're looking at this, the 5th goal today, right? He was involved in it. He got an assist out of it. The thing that he does in this play that I wanted to point out is the one thing that I think all of us have been asking for, which is the basic fundamentals. And in terms of like what Tayo is saying here, he's right. Maresca has said multiple times that, Gusto is an important player to him. He wants to use him as like a 10 and all that. And sure, if you want to do that, Maresca, by all means, go ahead. I actually, unlike a previous manager, I actually trust you to do what's best for the players and, put them in profiles and coach them.
I am not a clown.
On how to play those positions. But Malo Gusto, what he's done well is he does get in these good positions. He does get in the positioning for that 10, the inversion. I think he does well, but it's the fundamentals. And as long as he sticks to doing the fundamentals right, which he does here, he sees the options on the right-hand side. He actually threads the ball through, or passes, I should say, and he makes the right option. He could have probably gone into Nkunku as well, but they were just wide open. He lays it off instead of holding on to it. And Jaden, go ahead.
The problem is that, like I said, inverting him, I don't have a problem. I don't know why he needs to play him as a 10 when you have 3 other 10s. That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
You have Felix, you have Nkunku, you have Palmer, who can all play the 10. Even Jadon Sancho can play the 10.
Even Enzo plays like a 10 at times as well.
So that's what I mean. So why would you don't need another body in there. It just means you're like we see you're moving Palmer to the left, which doesn't help. You're isolating Madueke sometimes doesn't help. Do you know what I mean? It's just I don't know why you need to do that. I understand his comment when he said, Tyler's right. He said, yeah, he's important to him. That's because he's the only real authentic right back we have.
Yeah.
James is injured all the time.
Do you think it's because of the defensive ability? Do you think it's because Maresca likes... I think Maresca, to an extent, prioritizes defense. Well, actually, that's not even true. Control, defense. You think it has anything to do with that? Because, you know, when you're putting on Enzo in there, you are sacrificing a little bit of defense, which is why you put on, you know, a Moises Caicedo at right back, and you put a Lavia in there.
The thing is, now you're got an Enzo into this team, essentially a 3-man midfield.
Yeah,
you didn't have to invert a fullback, even though you're going to probably start Caicedo as right back. Off the ball, on the ball, he's going to be an extra midfielder because that's where he is. Sort of like when Partey does it for Arsenal. So this whole thing about, I want to move. I like Gusto higher up the field or in the 10. I just don't, because we never really see when he does it with Cucurella invert, we never see Cucurella get that high.
Same as Caicedo when he played right back.
Right, he sort of stays around the middle, may progress a little bit, but you don't see him, like, he'll press, but you don't like see him getting, like, running the ball up and then passing off for an assist or anything like that. That's what I just don't get.
I think we have, though, this season. Like, we saw it against Bournemouth when Sancho came on. Like, we've seen it in parts this season.
The last game, he crossed it from here, if you remember, like, this area.
We've definitely seen it, but I think the difference is...
talking, like, century, like
last season we did, but this season I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I've seen that century when Gusto's like remember Gusto in the Man United game? Mm-hmm. He was essentially in the inside and Madueke.
Yeah, he was like here pretty
much.
But
no, I still think we've seen that from Cucurella this season, albeit not that much, but I think we've seen it. The difference for me is that when Cucurella's done it, it's been successful. And that's what I find so weird is like when
I don't get why switch it to Gusto when you got Cucurella who can do it better.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what's weird to me, and especially because as we were talking about, or I was talking about earlier, Gusto's best moments last season were all defensively. Yes. You could easily ask him to play that right centre back role.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He can do that right centre back role. We were told when we bought him by Lyon fans or whatever, that it was portrayed that he was better attacking than he was defending. That's just not true. That's just not true. He's far better defending than he is ever attacking. 100%. Ever attacking. That's what he needs to work on. One thing I'd advise him about is attacking. He needs to work on his crossing. That's what he needs to work on. If he's gonna attack, if you're gonna use him in an attacking thing. But like Scott and I have said, if you're gonna invert a fullback, unless you're asking Cucurella to do a man marking job like against Saka, and use Cucurella. He's done it for club and country. You know what I mean? I don't rate Didier Deschamps anyway, but he's not really picked for France, is he? So that you don't even see it like that. But I just don't think Gusto has it to do that at this moment in time. Remember, he's only 21, so he could develop that. But at the moment, I just don't think it works. And I just hope that he, like Scott says, if he is going to play him and he wants an inverted, he leaves Gusto as like part of the back three. Mm-hmm. You know,
I also think to a part of me, because I do really believe in Malo Gusto as a talent. A part of me is thinking like, okay, maybe there will come a time where it will click, it'll improve slightly, and eventually we'll see those similar performances like Cucurella on the left side, on the right side for Malo Gusto. But at the moment, we have to pick and choose our battles when we want to play Malo Gusto and try to get him to do that inverting role. And to be honest, like what Andrew was saying earlier, I just don't feel like it's very needed this season. If we're gonna do Moises Caicedo at the right back position and inverting him, Moises has shown that he can play whatever position's asked of him, and same thing goes with Cucurella to an extent too. Like that guy does a job, whether it be at left back, at full back, whether it be wing back, whether it be whatever. We've seen him do well. Another player that I wanted to bring up before we start to wrap it up is Jadon, man. Jadon scored his first goal for Chelsea today. I think a lot of people had criticisms that Jadon doesn't shoot, doesn't do... Well, he shot today. Sancho is averaging a goal involvement every 82 minutes for Chelsea this season. He is home, that's insane. People were asking for this guy to be dropped or he's going to get sold and flip for profit. Right now, with the way he's playing, I don't see how people even come to that conclusion. Jadon Sancho has 7 goal contributions in 10 games. A washed player, they said. I had United fans telling me, like, just you watch him. He's gonna do the same thing they did at United. He's gonna, slag you guys off and not train hard and all that.
What's the interesting part? He came on and played on the right again. I know he played on the left against Villa, but he played on the right against Heineken, whatever. I just wonder. I don't know if anyone wants to agree with me. Do you think Maresca likes? It's only been 2 games, or 2 and a bit, or 1 and a bit games. Do you think he likes putting Sancho on the right against severely weaker opposition?
I don't know. I think what we're.
I really had like a game and like 10 minutes or something of it. Do you know what I mean? I need more of a sample size. But do you think he's like, because against Heidenheim he was on the right and got 2 assists. He got a goal. Today. If he comes on, it's interesting. I just don't. Maybe I'm trying to pick something out of nothing, but I just wonder if do you think we might see it going forward against the so-called lesser teams that whether he comes on or I think when he starts he'll always play on the left. I think when he starts, but it's weaker.
I think what it's a case of with him and Neto, who I think are obviously our starting partnership in terms of wingers, is we've seen from both of them this season that both of them can play both sides successfully as well. And so I think it just gives you an option as the coach where depending on the game state, right? And depending on the wing back situation and how a team is defending, like say we have a team that's defending quite compact, but there's opportunities for like crossing the ball, then we might see Jadon on the left and Neto on the right just because of the balls are able to get in. But if we see that there's space in behind to maybe for like a cutback or something, then we could see it the other way around. Because both of them have the ability to do that based on the goal we scored against Heidenheim and what we've seen from Neto as well this season. So I think it just gives us options, and I just think it means that we have the opportunity to do both. And I just think it just gives us options, and it's just a positive either way for us going forward.
Tell you what he needs to do more. When he did it a couple of times against Aston Villa, he needs to start dribbling more when he's close to the box, because he's a very good dribbler. In fact, I said it on another stream. He actually should have. He got fouled in the box in the first half against Villa, but he actually stayed on his feet.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
I think he should. I think he needs to do that because everyone goes, "Oh, he's not that fast." He's not a slow player. He's just not a fucking 100-meter sprinter. Do you know what I mean? So with his dribbling, he can easily out maneuver and outpace someone. I think he needs to start doing that a bit more. Hopefully, I don't want him to be like, and I don't think he will, but I don't want it to be like a Pep Grealish situation where, he goes forward a bit and then passes it back and stuff. I don't think that will happen with him, but I think he just needs to do that. And I agree with you. I think once he starts getting a bit more fitter, match fitness, starting to get more confidence, I think him and Neto will end up starting the most of the games going forward this season. And he's obviously Neto is the first choice winger. Neto didn't even come on tonight. Do you know what I mean? Obviously Neto at the moment is the first choice winger, whether it's left or right. He starts, and then it's either Madueke or Sancho who pairs with him.
Are we talking about Sancho and Neto being able to interchange flanks?
We'll see how they seem to be playing recently on the right side.
Yeah.
Against these...
which is good. Just something that I've been saying when we played... Was it Liverpool?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That microphone, man.
Is they giving up on you?
No, sorry, I just dropped something.
There you go.
When it was Liverpool, I think it was Liverpool, and it was Madueke and Sancho on the flank. I think it was that game, and I was talking about how they should just change after 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think all of our wingers that we have, they can play on both flanks. Madueke has played on the left when he played for England under 21. Mudryk has played on the right before for Shakhtar Donetsk and for Ukraine. Neto can play both flanks. Sancho can play both flanks. Like what Scott was saying, depending on the game and the situation, they should be allowed freedom to interchange freely. That's what we did when we had Hazard, Willian, Pedro, Oscar. They were interchanging with ease. Our wingers should be allowed to do that. It offers more freedom, it offers more variety.
Especially against perceived lower opposition. I think against like higher opposition, depending on the context, whether we actually are winning by a lot or, especially like against Villa, you can do the same as well. I think though, going forward at the moment, it's looking like Neto will be the right and Sancho will be the left. Or Neto left and Madueke right, or something like that. It's just an option.
Which is fine, but there are certain times in the game where they should just be allowed to just switch. Which is,
I thought that Sancho might actually, if he comes on the sub, may come on the right wing more than the left. If he's a sub and comes on, I just think
probably.
Because we've seen it today. I know he started against Heidenheim. He played on the right mostly in that game. It's just nice to not pigeonhole someone that, he's right-footed, but he can only play on the right. I'd love to see Madueke on the left. I'd love to see what he could do on the left when he doesn't have to cut back in, or he doesn't choose to cut back in, because he's got a right foot as well. We've seen him score with his right foot, so it's not that bad.
For England under 21 on the left, he's a lot more direct.
He scored a banger with his right against Luton last year. You know what I mean? It was a very good shot.
When Mudryk plays on the right, he's also a lot more direct. I would like to see that in certain cases, because that means we can play a lot more cutbacks, and we don't have to keep stop starting and having to come and cut back in, and then it makes it a lot easier for a defender to mark you or to stop.
I thought Madueke should have done that. I thought we should have done it for Madueke against Arsenal when Ben White went on the yellow card. Like having Madueke just run at him. Do you know what I mean? When he was on the yellow card, even if he doesn't always get past him or have an end product, but there's an opportunity there that he would get he would at least be fouled. Yeah, he would get fouled.
The fact that we've not done that this season, by the way, we've not targeted players on yellow cards. When we played Man United, we didn't target Lisandro Martinez when he was on yellow at all. That's something that we need to change this season.
Yeah, like against Leicester, when Ndidi should have got sent off in the first place, but when Ndidi got that yellow card, and then the other Samari got the yellow card, and stuff like that, we should have gone, okay, just keep closer to these guys, drop in the middle and then run past them or run on, even if they don't get a yellow card right away, it just accumulates. Or you're having to get their manager to change things and change their plans and change their sub times and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
We play Spurs next. It's a shame that Romero can't play, because he's the perfect player that you can target and get him sent off. And we should do a lot. I mean, he's injured; he can't play anyway. But it's just the point of there are certain players in a team that you should target, particularly if they're on a yellow.
And even if Van der Ven somehow recovers, which I don't know if he will because it's a hamstring, you want to test that hamstring out right away. And if he's uncomfortable, he'll look to foul. He'll look to do you know what I mean? It's you're right. It's absolutely right. And you want to test, and even if he doesn't play, you definitely want to test Ben Davies for pace and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's
that's something this team needs to. Amaresca should work on that in certain games, certain players. We should aim to target them. That's what the best teams do.
Yeah.
So hopefully Maresca is working on that. So we'll see.
I agree, but to go back to the Jadon Sancho discussion we were having about him in the right wing, I think something too that we as fans might be overlooking is that And listen, it's easy to overlook just because of the fact that where we are in the table, how the performances have been, the goals, all that stuff, right? I think one thing to keep in mind is that Enzo Maresca is still experimenting with the side, which is crazy to think that we're still experimenting, but we're in second place. But I think maybe one of the reasons why he's testing out, Jaden on the right side and Neto on the right side is likely to see how he links up with the right back and the right side of the pitch. I'm going
to counter this.
Sure.
Because he might be experimenting with different formations or something. But what he is doing, he's building a spine.
100%.
Building a spine, because it's the same 6 or 7 players that you can see now in the league games that are starting all the time. Yeah. Whether you like Sanchez or not, I don't. He starts. Before he got injured, it was Fofana, Colwell, Cucurella for most of the season, apart from a couple of games. Caicedo, definitely. I think Lavia will join that when he stays fit. Palmer and Jackson. Mm-hmm. Right? So about 6 or 7 players that constantly start, no matter what, and then he's filling in other areas, other players beside him. So experimenting in terms of maybe formations and stuff like that, little tweaks here and there, where to put Enzo. Can I put Enzo and Lavia and Caicedo in the same team? Mm-hmm. Which winger starts? Which 2 wingers start? If I do start 2 wingers, or do I bring a Felix in on the left? And what right back is available at the time? Do you know what I mean? In terms of that, that's what his real experiments in, and that's what all successful teams have. They have a set players that will always play most of the games and always will play the big games, because it's building continuity. So then when you make changes to a formation, tactics, or players, it's not, it won't seem too odd. Like, for instance, again, last 3 league lineup since we come back from the international break, I think everyone's had question marks about what's he doing, which is fine to have, but it's all worked out, right? When does that start to not be? When do we start not to question that? How long do we go, well, Maresca's done this before, so we've got to trust him to do it again. But he will still experiment, because that's what progressive coaches do. 100%. He will still he'll make twists and tactics, because he won't just remember all the things. Oh, he's too stubborn. No, he's not stubborn. Yeah. He's not stubborn. He will change. He changes things. He'll change things at half time. He'll change things maybe during the first half. He will change things for the next game. Like, he's got a totally different game plan, obviously, for Spurs than he's got for Southampton.
Yeah, 100%.
Totally.
And I appreciate that about him. But I feel like the one little caveat, and it's a caveat, that maybe makes me think that in some instances he is stubborn. We've seen it with Nani, obviously. But to be fair, the Nani decision to start Nani when he wasn't in the best form wasn't always a choice he had. Neto would be out with a little injury, or Jaden was out sick. The one little caveat to that is the Malo Gusto situation, right? I feel like there's parallels with how he's kind of been persistent with Malo Gusto in recent time versus how last season Pep was persistent with Vardiol. And he was persistent with Vardiol for a long time until it finally clicked. Obviously, the season's a whole different spiel. We don't know what's going on. I think it's not just Vardiol that's been bad. It's been a lot of that team. But do you guys reckon that maybe Pep is also... Not Pep, wow. You think Maresca is kind of that same little cut from the same cloth? Because... Listen, I know Malo Gusto can get this right. I'm just going to persist. Not to bring it back on Malo Gusto, but that just came into mind. That little bit of discussion. Proud. All right, listen, that'll be a discussion I'll bring up later on. We'll see, because Malo Gusto has been, as of right now, we did see him drop for a Caicedo. Obviously,
the stubborn thing about Maresca is his picking of Sanchez, because he came out tonight and said Sanchez is starting against Spurs.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, were you guys surprised to see that he rotated Sanchez out today?
Yes.
No. Yes.
No, it's not surprising.
I thought it was surprising. It's a league match.
Yeah, I thought he wasn't gonna.
I thought he was going to rotate, but not as much as 7 players. And I never thought he'd rotate the goalkeeper.
I knew he would. Southampton.
Who slipped you the note?
Well, I think it was obvious that he was going to come out and play Sanchez or Jorgensen.
I would have been obvious. He played him in the last game.
Anything obvious
the
about
Premier
it.
League.
Yeah, but it's a game at midweek. He comes in and gets a chance to play, and we're playing so many games coming up that, why wouldn't he get a chance? If Disasi and Tosin can come in, why wouldn't Jorgensen come in?
Totally different.
They're totally different in the goalkeeper position.
Totally different.
Maybe you can say it's totally different, but for me, I don't think there was any reason why Jorgensen would not have come into it. I would have been disappointed if he didn't start.
It's very rare.
It's very rare that you put what is effectively your cup goalkeeper in the Premier League, even in runs like this.
No suspension, no injury.
Probably it is. Again, fine, you're probably right. But in general, with how much we've been talking about Sanchez, why not test Jorgensen now and see?
Yeah, I think that's a different conversation. Our own personal opinions about Sanchez. We wanted him to make a change because we don't really rate Sanchez that much. So obviously, all of us would like to make a change. I think we were just surprised that he did
actually pull the trigger.
I don't think it should be surprising because Jorgensen has to play a Premier League game eventually, right?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No, but I mean in terms of if we keep saying that Sanchez is bad and that he should be dropped and whatever, Jorgensen eventually has to play a Premier League game to see.
Well, we've been saying that for a while.
Hold on. He eventually has to get a game just to see. So him playing Southampton, it just made sense. I think they're still bottom, right, of the table. Yeah. Their best players, their best attackers are out injured. So there weren't going to be much of an attacking threat. Why not just put him in?
No, but I think we as fans, I would say us for right here, wanted him to make the change to start Jorgensen, give him a few more games, something like that. Him himself never comes across like that. He's very protective of, and I admire that. I'm fine with it, by the way.
Sure.
He's very protective of Sanchez. It's very rare that even like midweek games that a goalkeeper is rotated for a league match when there's no injury and no suspension. Plus, he didn't make a claim out in the previous match, so it's like
you're right.
As a fan, we wanted it and stuff like that, but it surprised me that he actually did it.
But Maresca's also not stupid, regardless of what he's saying in the media about Sanchez. I know he's not stupid, and I know he's aware of what's going on. If you want to see that, and particularly how well Jorgensen looked against Heidelheim, if you want to give him a chance to see maybe he can come into the Prem over Sanchez, you have to give him a game eventually. Why not Southampton? Why not?
No, I understand. Listen, I agree with you.
What I've said is not from a fan point of view. It's from, if I was Maresca, that's how I would be thinking. Why not give him this game? Because where else are you going to play him?
No, but the thing is, I would see that his performance against Heidenheim. I would have found that not his performance. I would have found it alarming that he came out as man of the match for us in that game.
Yeah,
I would actually not even be looking at his performance. His performance wouldn't even touch my mind, because my goalkeeper shouldn't be having man of the match performances in group games of the conference.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't, but he did. He did play well, and we've been talking about it. But
I just think
again, I'm explaining to you guys why it makes logical sense from Maresca's point of view.
It's a different perspective, and
I agree with everything. I agree with everything that you said. My thing was that I'm surprised he did it. That was all.
Yeah, and again,
I understand, accept, and follow, and agree with the logic that you put down, and that why he did it and everything like that. I agree. I'm just surprised that he still did it.
What I like about Maresca is that he does certain things, certain surprises, or changes in the lineup that we necessarily don't expect. But the changes that he makes actually make sense in the game. Caicedo playing at right back, for example, makes sense for that particular game. He doesn't just exactly. It's not as if if Jorgensen. That's why against Villa, I knew Sanchez would start. I would have been surprised if Jorgensen was thrown in against Villa. That wouldn't have made sense at all, regardless of how bad Sanchez played the game before against Leicester. I still have been surprised for him to come in. But for Southampton, no real pressure. Why not come in for your debut in the Prem?
I agree. All of it for me, I was just very surprised and pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
and I think that's the term I use for Maresca all season at the moment. I'm everything. Last been on, I question everything about, but I'm always pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? Because I think it's like last year, it was whenever Poch did something, and it never worked. There was no reason to it.
I am not a clown.
I mean, you are a fucking clown. There was never any understanding or logic or any why are you doing this? Why, for instance, when he bought Sanchez back for the FA Cup tie against Leicester.
That was so jokes.
That was just a pathetic, or it's just one where Maresca is he since day one. Actually, you know what? Let's trust. Since probably the Sterling incident, I think he's just not bullshit us. And he explains everything. Do you know what I mean? He simplifies things and he's getting positive results. So it sees, like I say, I can understand why he put Jorgensen in. I'm just surprised that he actually did do that, even if it's against Southampton. Do you know what I mean? Because it's very rare that Premier League even our managers do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and to piggyback real quick, Prime, and to piggyback off of what Surfer just said there, I think it's surprising also because he's been so staunch in defending Sanchez. He's been so staunch in keeping him in despite multiple errors. The stats, show we've seen the stats, Prime. The stats show that he's one of the most error-prone keepers in the league, if not the most error-prone keeper in the league, if not in all the world of football. And then we have stats coming out from, the Chelsea media saying he has a great save percentage. The battle was always there. So it was always surprising to see him get dropped. But I hear what you're saying, because I think from a mentality standpoint, if there's ever a time that you're going to reward Jorgensen for the performance on Heidenheim, this probably would have been the best one to do so. And it makes sense because at the same time, you're also not, taking the chance of making Sanchez worse by punishing him and saying, listen, I don't trust you, which we've seen with some players' mentality that'll cause their performances to get even worse rather than just fixing them. Getting punished because, I made a mistake. Oh, now I'm all demoralized. You're going to lose confidence, which is something that Sanchez, even when he's confident, he makes ridiculous mistakes. But when he's not confident, you can expect him to definitely make mistakes.
Yeah, so very good game against Villa.
Yeah. I think from a mentality standpoint, you actually kind of maintain okay, listen, this makes sense to make this change. You played it earlier. I promised him a midweek game. He plays every week. You guys get to take turns. And, it kind of rewards Jorgensen and keeps him motivated to keep up those performances. I think eventually they will swap, but time will tell.
Exactly. Let me ask you guys then. When were you guys ever expecting Jorgensen to get a Premier League game without Sanchez getting injured?
No.
Like Marshall said, the way he was, and he was right to do so. And I think you shouldn't really throw your players under the bus publicly anyway. So it was just the way he and even out tonight, he's like I said earlier, he's come out tonight and said Sanchez definitely starts against Spurs. So it's the way he came out and he constantly picked him even after the mistakes against Man United and Arsenal. and stuff like that, he still picked him. So I was saying, it's like I say, you very rarely swap goalkeepers out unless it's for cup competitions nowadays. So or injuries.
I kind of. This is gonna sound horrible, but I kind of feel like, you know how Poch last season, once Sanchez got hurt, Poch was like, all right, Petrovic, go on. And I was like, oh, well, he actually ended up being better. So, you know, it's kind of like, all right, cool. Now I have an excuse to use Petrovic. I feel like maybe this season Maresca's kind of like...
You got like I say, you got Sanchez back for the FA Cup.
Just to be fair, just to be nice to the guy, because you still see him every day on the pitch. He's looking at you. He doesn't want a Frank Lampard situation.
Because ironically, we were against Maresca's Championship Leicester, and he probably thought, we can. Well, we'll get past. Even us playing not that bad or not that good, we'll still get past Leicester. And it was like, he conceded that comical own goal from Disasi, which is probably one of the greatest own goals I've ever seen in my life. And then just this general lazy lack, like not fast-paced actions, and then he got caught a couple of times by Leicester's pressing, and then he just left him out for the rest of the fucking season. That's what happened, It's like, and even this season, he was making mistakes earlier this season, but they weren't costing us until it came to Arsenal and Manchester United. And the reason he's had a good couple of games. Obviously, he's had a much better game against Villa than he Leicester, because Leicester's only shot in the second half was the penalty. They didn't do anything else apart from that, and I don't think he didn't have really make a save. They didn't really challenge. Chance for the first half went just past the wide past the post when the winger inverted in. But praise him in terms of Villa, very good save against Watkins, or a very much needed save, but. It's just, again, I can understand. I completely agree with what Prime said. I can understand why he's done it. I'll just say again, I'm surprised he did it.
I do still think that Maresca's leaving a cone in training that's not supposed to be there for Sanchez, and if he happens to trip on that and gives him an excuse to bring in Jorgensen to the first team, you never know. You never know. But I mean, that being said, I think we touched on all the bases. I don't really know what else there is to discuss. I don't think we missed anything. I think we did talk on Cole. Actually, let's just bring that up quickly with Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer.
Bless you.
He bless you. He got a goal. He got his goal today.
It's worth the same bless me to me. It means nothing.
He hasn't necessarily been playing. He hasn't necessarily been playing that well in recent time, but.
He didn't play well tonight.
No, do you guys think that that's in part due to the fact that we're not as reliant on him, and it's everyone else's bar has now been raised?
I just think it's especially the last few games, what I said before, because we're not being asked to play at our maximum because we're in such control of the last three matches, especially. It's not we have an actual tactico instead of someone who says just give the ball to Cole Palmer and see what he can do. But also the team's better. It's got better options, obviously, and that's down to Maresca as well in helping the team get better. Like, it doesn't pain me to say it, but like I said, João Felix played well the last few games, and Noni's played well, and he's challenged him again. And it's just one of those things. Palmer can have the same type of season in terms of numbers, but what's frightening probably for everyone else is if we can get Palmer or he can get himself up to the level of last season with this team. That is a frightening for rivals. That's a frightening proposition. Because if he starts kicking on like he did last season, and you're adding it to a Jackson who's improving, you're adding it to a Neto, a Felix, a Noni, a Caicedo, an Enzo, Lavia, and the rest. Then we can, like some other Chelsea fans need to, they can get their crown jewels back, and actually, when someone says Chelsea in a title race, they can actually start to believe it more than what it. I have no idea what that is. So I don't know why he just did that.
It's the look. It's the look. Like,
it's the look.
You just smile and look, and you're like, eh?
Was that Enzo's kid? Was that? Did he leave him out there?
I think.
Did he go? You're not seeing me again, son, for another month. And then, Daddy, don't leave me. Enzo was smiling.
That's Enzo's child. No,
that's the look you give when you got to take care of your son, but you see a baddie walk past.
Yeah. That's the bit where you. That's the bit where and now the son starts to understand, and he's going to give the son a card or some money just to go play the local arcade while he goes to and tries to lay the foundations, so to speak.
Oh my!
Yeah, Palmer needs to play better overall. Like I said, I thought some of his passes were lazy, especially in the second half. I thought they were forced a little bit. Although he did create a great chance for Felix in the second half to score to unmarked header. I thought Felix could even probably take an extra touch, bring it down and shoot. He had so much time, but he got his goal and he moves on. I mean, I think it's testament to. I think we have to give the ownership and directors a bit more credit now in terms of the squad building, in terms of how it's literally, and also they brought someone in who no one had on their list at all, Maresca, in to shape the squad, and it made the improvements to it. So, you know, I'm not saying like 100% back them and back Clear Lake and stuff like that, but if you're
praises due.
Quick enough to criticize, you should be quick enough to praise as well. So.
Oh, I thought the saying was make sure your praise is as
loud
loud
make
as
sure
your
your praise
criticism.
is as loud as your whatever.
That sounded like that was.
Make sure your apologies as loud as the disrespect.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. So we're all, you know, and football fans are very easy to please, right?
Yeah.
No mention of this ownership civil war since the news broke out in September international break. Nothing even about the directors. Nothing even about the directors on the interview they gave like a couple of weeks ago about how they bought players and stuff like that. And even out this week about the news out that they feel that they've done their job in terms of the turnover of the players and the wages and the structure of it. Nothing done about that. Nothing done about Clear Lake as a whole because we're winning. Because football fans are the easiest people to please. If you win and your team does well, then you are pleased and you don't have anything. And all the arguments that we have in this Chelsea fan base, like reference to today's game, the major criticism is we scored 5, but you know what? We should have scored double that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, with that being said, don't think there's much else to touch on. I think we're ready to wrap it up. Ladies and gents.
No, I joined earlier.
I know. I saw you.
He was in here for a few minutes earlier, but yeah. I
Big
mean,
up
listen.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that you big up Madueke today, man. Scott, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I mean, in Madueke fashion, all of us here at Casually FC.
Were you rolling? I'm out of here, man.
We're out of here. All right, ladies and gents. So if you haven't done so already, smash up the like button. It helps out with the channel tremendously. Again, great win. Let's celebrate by smashing the like button, helping out us content creators here. If you haven't done so already, check out the links in the description for everyone's content, everyone's links, and all that fun stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Be sure to also check out the memberships because we have 4 different tiers starting at 99p. One of those tiers being the proper casual tier where you get a shout out at the end of every show, and that's going to go out to TM127, EE, Hassan Nawaz, Dark, Adrian, A. Soliman, Scott, Josh GFC, M3, Iawani, Gabriel, and Banana. Big up to you guys for your continuing support at that level, and big up to everyone else who's also been supporting for a while. Now, for this raid, because we are going to raid out, I do want you guys to copy and paste or just type out one of these 2 hashtags, which is going to be either blame flawless or hashtag you failed us flawless. because United had one job. And listen, we got it done at the end of the day, right? But they had one job and they couldn't do it. And we wanted to, get the gap between Arsenal and Chelsea to be a little further away so that we can keep putting that pressure onto Arsenal to, we're
second outright. We're second outright.
Yeah. Now we're second outright. We had to do it ourselves. No thanks to these guys in Manchester.
And also Spurs fans, you can hold that. We're the top scorers in the Premier League at the moment.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you were there for that.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Oh, funny guy. But listen, we will be back. That might actually be Monster. we
randomly
will.
Popped up. It's so weird.
What's in the blue? That's how you know Chelsea are doing good when you see Monster back in chats, bro. But also, guys, be sure to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be back with the call-in show. The call-in show will be back tomorrow, so come in, have your say. We'll have a discussion on this game and all things Chelsea related, Maresca related. I mean, we got to talk about where we are on the table, and we're getting closer and closer to that title race. So yeah, copy and paste that message. Hashtag blame flawless. Hashtag you failed us flawless. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Monster. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's probably Ahmed, to be honest. It's usually always Ahmed, to be honest.
You know what I mean?
If we're gonna be genuine, it's usually always Ahmed. But let's go ahead and end it on. It's ended on this one, ladies and gents. You have a wonderful night as always. Have a. We'll see you next time and stay casual. Peace. All right, no full screen, whatever.
Yeah, Marshall.